travels like wildfire. Good news travels slow. They all call me wildfire. Everybody knows, hell, I'm bad news. Everywhere I go, always getting in trouble, leaving them girls that hate to see me go.
I got in a horrible abusive relationship years ago. 15 years ago, and I mean within a month I lost that job, I lost my car, I lost everything. Lost a kid, lost everything. And we were just going around drugging, drinking, and I eventually, lived in some shelters and got away, and just everything kind of led me where I am today. Wow, it is really crazy. It's astonishing, honestly, that I'm sitting here. It's astonishing.
You want to talk about it?
I can. I'll talk about anything. Okay. There is absolutely nothing that I won't talk about.
Okay, well then, I don't know where I'm going to start editing this, but if you want to, you don't have to, but if you like, you could do like an introduction, so people know who you are. Like I don't know what you want people to know about you, but yeah, do your thing.
Okay, well, my name is Christy Nell. My friends call me Nello. Not really. I'm from Waxahachie, Texas. That's the truth. My brother calls me Nello. He's the only one. I'm from Waxahachie. I have 3 kids. They're all spaced out, 10 years, 26, 16, and 7. That shows you that I'm fucking crazy. I had a kid at 20, 30, and then 40. That I'm not right in the head.
No, that means you have big ass balls.
I'm tired. I'm 28 months, June 6th, sober from alcohol. About 8 years sober from drugs. I'm not sure, like, introducing myself is hard, but...
Let me slow you down a little bit right there. Say those numbers again. You said 28 months?
Mm-hmm.
You said June 6th?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble with that.
So February 6th, I had 2 years sobriety from alcohol. So is that right? February, March?
Oh, I'm following you. Gotcha. So 28 months there, and then you said June 6th is what?
28 months sobriety.
Gotcha.
So we count sobriety like we count babies. You know how babies are like 18 months old? Well, they're a year and a half. Okay. So I'm almost 2.5 years sober.
Whenever you said June 6th, that threw me off, so I was expecting it to be a round number.
Right. No. February 6th of 2017, I went unconscious. I drank like 16 small bottles with a little wine, took a Benadryl, and that was it.
Hold on, say
on February 6th.
You remember the exact day, exactly how much you had?
Yes, because my husband had left me Friday and taken my daughter Penelope because my drinking was so out of control. And this had been going on for a long, long time. And I'm sorry, I talk really fast. So I'm consciously going to slow down. But he had left, and I decided when he left that I've got the house.
Well, before that, let's get before he left. What prompted him to leave? Let's get over that.
Well, I just stayed drunk. I was sneaking out of the house.
So this is somebody you're married to.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been married for how long?
We were married almost 5 years together, almost 9. So yeah.
And tell me about the drinking throughout the history of the 9 years. Was this obviously not something new, right?
No. When we first
together,
when we first got together, we partied a lot together. He was a lot younger than me too. I like young boys. but eventually we had a baby, and I didn't want it to stop. I just never did. Ever. I never wanted to stop drinking, and the more miserable and bored that I got in the relationship.
About while you were pregnant?
Never. But I'm selfish. I'm a selfish person, and I can admit that typically alcoholics do drink when they're pregnant. I don't want to take care of a deformed or retarded baby. I just don't. And I mean, that's just me being honest. I just don't. I don't have it in me. I'm tired with a normal child. So never drank while I was pregnant.
You're so drunk and selfish that you stopped drinking long enough to where you knew you were going to have a baby that was going to be healthy, so you go back to drinking.
Pretty much.
That's how committed you were to alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad.
You deliberately stopped drinking to prevent a birth defect so you could continue drinking when a baby was born.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And you see that now, but at the time you didn't think it was a big deal, but now you look back at it like, man, that's a selfish ass fucking thing to do.
Yeah, it was very selfish. Everything I did was selfish. So I mean, for the last 28 years, I mean, I had a 28-year drinking career. I started when I was 14, and I mean, you look throughout the years of that. I mean, it's just awful. Just awful, you know. But I remember, you know, and I asked my friend if this was okay, but I remember when I took my first drink when I was 14. It was at Sherry Schreiber's house. It was Fuzzy Navel. Her parents were having a party, Fuzzy Navel. And I remember that feeling, and I thought, this just saved my life. And I'm one of those people, too, where, you know, you hear about people that are in groups, and they're like, why did God do this to me? You know, like, why did he put this burden on me? I always felt, thank you, Jesus, that you gave me something to where I don't have to remember anything. I can just black out. Thank you. I appreciated the gift of alcohol, you know, until I didn't anymore, you know. So, yeah. But anyway.
So you were looking at like, hey, these guys are being soft. They're pussies. They need alcohol in their life. Because what are they crying about? All you need to do is get drunk and forget all your problems. Like, why are they being emotional? So you're detaching yourself emotionally from your situation by getting drunk, and you're like, why are these people owing their feelings? Because
well, not too much, because I didn't really hang around anybody that was a known alcoholic, you know. But that's what alcoholics do. I mean, we travel from friend groups to friend groups. You know, when people start realizing who they're dealing with, and they're like, oh my God, they don't want to hang around you anymore. So you get other friends, you know. I mean, that's the way it always was for me. I always have different groups of friends for years, you know. I'm lucky that I do still have a lot of the same friends that I grew up with throughout the years, but they weren't around me consistently. And but I will say this about my ex-husband, who's a very good friend of mine. If there ever was a human being that put up with a drunk person, I tell you what, that guy deserves the Purple Heart.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how he did it for 9 years. I really don't. It gets me choked up.
9 years you were fucked up and he dealt with it? Mm-hmm. Did he drink it too?
No.
Hold on, you were a raging alcoholic, just complete mess for 9 years.
But I mean, I go through, you know, I'm not one of those people, though. I would, you know, wake up and start drinking. I would get up and have a normal day. I'd go to CrossFit. I would do things, and I would wait until kind of the day was done. But if she wasn't around and he wasn't around, I would be one of those. I'd wake up and just start and day drink all day or whatever, you know. I couldn't hold a job. Didn't want to hold a job. I just didn't want to do anything, you know. So all I wanted to do was get drunk, you know. That's it. And I did, you know, very successfully. I had a nice career.
9 years. This is awesome. This guy's a stud. I mean,
he is. He's a terrific human, and we are great friends to this day.
That's awesome.
We talk a lot, and his girlfriend is having a baby, and I'm really excited for him. And but that's a very touchy subject for me. You know? Yeah.
Is that one where you feel like you let one get away? No, we were very different. You know, very, very different. I have a very outgoing personality, and he's a very introvert. And, you know, at the end of the day, I like to go high. I like to do a lot, and he didn't really like to do much, you know. And so I got just so restless and bored. And so, but not one that got away, but one that is... he was just a good person. And that's where the torture comes in for somebody like me, is because when you leave someone like that, it's like, well, he didn't ever cheat on me, he didn't ever beat me. Why would you leave such a good person that stayed with you throughout all of this? And really, I don't have an answer, honestly. And if I sit around and think about it too much, it takes me back down into a gutter. So I try not to. Obviously, it gets me emotional, so... Yeah. Do you feel like you're emotional because, like you said, you left him after all that? Is it because you feel like you used him to an extent for that period of time? And I'm not saying you used him like you deliberately, consciously took advantage of him, but I mean, looking back on it, do you feel like the drunk you took advantage of somebody that was never going to treat you poorly or badly?
Yes.
You know, he was just going to manage.
Yes.
And then looking back on it, you're like, had I not been drunk,
that relationship wouldn't have lasted that long, and he would have been free to do whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I inhibited him for not, he might have a whole different life. But of course, then you think about it though. Then I have Penelope, so you can't look at it as bad. And we are such great friends today. I mean, we really are. I mean, we co-parent so well together. I mean, it's just an amazing relationship. I have a better relationship with him now than I did then. We didn't talk. We didn't sleep in the same room. We just lived as roommates, I mean, I was sneaking out the windows at night and sitting in my car or driving around. He didn't even know I was gone.
Really?
Yeah, just driving around. The streets of Burleson are a lot safer now that I'm not drinking. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Hey, I know the streets are safer with me out the road, too.
Yeah, they are, and I don't discriminate either. I'll put your kid in the car. I'll do whatever, That's what drinking is for me. An alcoholic like me, there's nothing in the lengths I won't go to, So that being said, recovery has been a whirlwind, and it's been a great, great thing for me. It really has. And he has been there every step of the way. From the time I was in rehab to when I got out, when we chose to separate and eventually divorce, I mean, he's just the nicest human. Whatever I need, so.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And he supports it, 100%. Anything, I mean, and I told him, he could even put in the divorce decree, if I started drinking again, he could have, our daughter, sole custody. And he didn't do it. He said, I don't think you'll ever do it again. But you have to remember, too, he has the mindset, because he had never seen anything like me coming or seen anything like it ever. His parents had been married for 35 years, and he'd never seen anything like me. He's from Missouri. He comes down here, this small town crazy girl. All men love crazy. They just do. I hate to say it. And it's true.
Well,
I mean,
don't, but
I was just so new, and fun. I'm a fun girl for a while. It's fun, but until it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
But
it's a good time till you want to get off.
It is.
And then getting off
it is. And so that being said, I don't know where I was going with that, but he's a good dude, man. I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
It would hurt me a lot if something ever happened to him.
Yeah.
So, I just have a lot of respect for him. So,
and like you said, it's not 100% on you. He had choices to make. He chose, like you said, he chose to be with you. He enjoyed being with you. He wanted to be with you. So it wasn't.
Oh, I know where I was going with that. Okay, I'm glad you said something.
Yeah.
Even to this day, if you ask him, because he never really would learn about my disease. He refused to think that I really had something wrong with me. That's the kind of person I'm dealing with. He actually thought, if I just dealt with what happened to me as a child and my ADHD, that everything would be good. Thumbs up. Like he really, the guy took video of me passed out in the backyard. He had footage, like 9 years of living this way, and still to this day doesn't believe that I have a disease. So I don't know who was in denial more. You know what I mean? Because a stranger could see it from a mile away. If I went to a bar, people wouldn't even come near me. I'm crazy.
Do you feel as advanced as science is right now? Do you still feel like there's two camps on that? Two theories of that as to whether or not addiction is actually a disease? Do you feel like there's still two theories, or do you think science is at a point now where it's commonly accepted as a disease?
I think it is commonly accepted. Honestly, for me, I don't know. I'll never understand it. I will never, ever understand what it is inside of me that cannot take a drink like a normal human. I never will. A friend of mine, a coworker of mine, asked me one day, what would you do if you just took a sip of wine right now? I said, well, you wouldn't see me again, because I'd be gone for 2 weeks on a binge, because my brain, for whatever reason, flips as soon as alcohol touches my lips and I get a taste of it. I don't know why. I'll never be able to know why. I've read about it. I just can't. I'll never be able to wrap my brain around it. Why I'm like this, and why so many people are. We lose so many people to addiction. It's just something you just can't put your finger on it. Do I think it's a disease? I think maybe we are genetically. I know my grandfather, my mom's dad died when he was 44. Of alcoholism. Drank, I don't know how much vodka every day, but he died of a heart attack, drinking vodka. So Do I believe it's a disease? I do. I do believe that there is something inside of me that is not right, that's rotted. And to me, that is a disease. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like everybody's addicted to something?
I think so. I think that everybody does have some kind of addiction, you know, whether it's to sleeping or to anything. I mean, you can really be addicted to anything. That's the truth, you know. It just depends on how far you take it. You know, some people have control. You know, how many times did I go out and people would say, if you just pace yourself. Okay. You know, like,
watch this.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to pace myself. I'll only start with 3 tonight, you know, 2 beers in one shot. Not, you know, like, I mean, if I had a quarter for every time I heard that. But most people, normal people, I say normal because I feel so like not in the realm of normal, which is fine with me, you know, I'm good with that. But most people can control their, you know, they can say, you know what, today I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to have one more drink because I could get pulled over and get a DWI, you know. I didn't have that inside of me.
Just kind of tell me because like you said, you've got your kids spaced out a little ways, you've got some relationships spaced out, and then you've got drinking that overlaps that. So just kind of tell me your story. Like you said, you started drinking at 14. Just kind of go from there and just give me your story when it comes to drugs and alcohol, your relationships, and then your children. How did your life sort of unfold in those 3 aspects?
Well, I can give you a quick backstory. You know, my mother lost her dad, and I'll make it quick, but this is all part of my story. But my mother lost her dad at 44, you know, of alcoholism. She was from L.A. You know, she wore micro minis and lived on the beach. It was the 60s, the late 60s. When he died, she was uprooted and sent back to Waxahachie, Texas. Her first day of high school, you know, she had on her micro mini with a long, and I mean, she was crucified. You know, I mean, you're talking about the Bible Belt compared to the Summer of Love. And so she was just tortured in school. And so right before she turned 16, she had me. Now, my dad at the time was 33. And he was a real, I like to call him a monster just because he was, because my mom was so young and he was older. But she had me when she was almost 16, and then when she went in for her 6 weeks checkup, she was pregnant with my brother. So me and my brother are highly close. Again, my dad was just not a good person. So that being said, the 3 of us raised each other in Waxahachie, Texas, all over really, you know. And my mom and my dad both were pretty much, I mean, they were married 4 times apiece. Never knew really any stability, any kind of, you know, not just one, but pretty much all of it. Well, except for one of our step-parents were monsters. I like to call them monsters because it's just what they were, you know. I was a hyper child, very hyper. I still am. And so a lot of people didn't know how to deal with me. I was constantly looking for attention. And so a lot of bad things happened, of course, you know. And me and my brother went through a lot, you know. And so when I started drinking at 14, it was just like a miracle had been handed to me, you know. Like, oh, my God, now this is what fun is. I'm finally going to get to have fun in my life. I'm not going to be tortured by adults, you know. And I ended up moving to College Station with my best friend at 16, and who's still my best friend today. And that's kind of where my life started, really. And
how did that go? How did you just get in a car and you just pack a bag and get in a car and leave, or did you tell your mom like, "Hey, mom, I'm
well,
moving"?
Yeah, my mom. She didn't really. I love her. I do, and she did the best she could. And I'll tell you this. I mean, she didn't lose us, and she took care of us. So I have a lot of respect for her. I lost 2 of my kids to my disease. So, that being said, she didn't really pay that much attention to us. We partied a lot. You know, we always had kids at the house. That's what everybody partied at, was our house, you know, in Waxahachie. So, my best friend Heather, her sister was already going to A&M. And Heather hated her high school, Maypearl. And she said, I'm not going back for my senior year. I'm getting my GED. I'm going to go
to Blinn Junior College in College Station. And I said, well, if you're going, I'm going. I mean, that's just how I am. And so we didn't go back to high school, and we moved to College Station. Her sister was already in a sorority. So by the time we got down there and had an apartment, I mean, I'm newly 17. In June we got there. It was just a party every day. It was the funnest time of my life, honestly. College Station was the funnest time of my life. It really was. We didn't last long. That town spit us up. Shoot us up and spit us out. But we were there for a good 6 to 8 months, and that was, I got to see all things that I didn't know about college life. And that was just a lot of fun. And then I came back, and we still partied.
Do you think that you spent a lot of your adult drinking career chasing that same feeling?
Mm-hmm. Of course. Especially in my 30s, because I still had a lot of good times in my 20s, a lot. But in my 30s, I really chased that. In my 40s, there at the end, I just didn't even want to deal. I didn't care about any of it. You know what I mean? I just wanted to listen to music and get drunk.
You were just comfortable at that point. It was just, it was the old go-to.
Yeah. I mean, it just was. I say that, but I'm real nostalgic, I mean, when George Michael died, I spent 2 weeks. I mean, I swear to God, I think I wore black for 2 weeks when he died. It killed me. In fact, the Burleson police, I don't know if I should say this, I was reported because I snuck out of my bedroom window, and I'm 43 years old, sneaking out of my bedroom window, and went 3 streets over from where we lived and sat in front of a house until 3 a.m. listening to a George Michael CD. Over and over. Throwing wine bottles out the window until I hear a, can you step out of the car? And I said, no, I'm in mourning. I got to finish this song. I'm like, no, you got to step out of the car. And they didn't take me to jail. They called Dan, and he came and picked me up at 3 a.m. New Year's Eve. A month and a half before I went to rehab. Month. Can you believe that? 3 a.m. Those poor people.
Whose car were you sitting on?
I was sitting in my car.
Oh, you snuck out the window, got in your car, drove 3 blocks over, and parked.
Yeah.
And somebody called the cops on you.
Yes, at 3 a.m. because I was just drinking and jamming. Just listening to George Michael.
What the fuck?
Yes. I mean, Dan said that he has never, when they pulled up with him, he said they looked so relieved. Like, I was just hopping all over the place, like, they were just like, take her. Yeah. I mean, I should have gone to jail that night. I should have had 2 DWIs I've gotten out of, in Cedar Hill.
Only 2?
Yeah.
Only 2?
Only 2, because that's the only time I got pulled over.
Well, I guess you're a female. You probably didn't do a lot of driving. You had somebody drive.
No, I did.
Well, no. I'm saying there were probably a bunch of times that somebody drove you home.
Mm-hmm. No, not really.
What?
Never. I never wanted anybody to drive me home.
Not when you were married or nothing? Really?
No, because he didn't go out.
Man.
Yeah,
you got balls, man.
I just did not.
That's not always a good thing.
No, because let me tell you something. You know how bad it scares me now to have, my family out on the road at night? Because I know that there's people just like me out there. All I think about. I don't drive at night. I don't get my daughter in the car. My mom wants me to come to Waxahachie to visit. We're out of there by 7 o'clock because I'm not driving down that road in Alvarado from Midlothian on 67 in the dark.
You know why I don't text and drive? It's
why?
Because I'm watching for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about me. I know I can maintain my lane. Mm-hmm. I know where I'm stopped. I'm fine. Mm-hmm. I'm watching for these fools.
Well, I've got a new rule. Like, I just hand my daughter my phone as soon as she gets in the car. So and she watches her movies or whatever on Netflix we go from point A to point B because it's just not worth it.
Worked in Northside for 8 years. I can't tell you how many drunk drivers during the day accidents we had. Mm-hmm. In our immediate area, in Haltom City, in Northside Fort Worth, drunk drivers hitting people, killing people, driving through our fence, hitting telephone poles, hitting the fence across the street. I mean, one of them drove through a gas station, ran over a customer standing in line and killed.
Oh, God. I'm so lucky.
Lunatics.
I am so lucky.
Broad daylight.
I am so lucky.
And that was my thing. I
believe-
used to think it was all at night.
Yeah, no, it's not. People don't know. I mean, if you're
I'm
a hardcore drunk, you start early. And if you run out, I would drink 3 bottles of wine before I even got to the house with my daughter in the back seat.
And I'd be like, oh, shit, I only got one bottle left. We got to go back. I mean, before we even get to point B. I mean, and there's a lot of me's out there. And there's more me's than there's a lot of me's out there. And, you know, when I go tell my story
I imagine that there's people out there worse than you.
Worse.
Think about that. Just think about how average crazy you are.
Yeah, because I really am. I'm pretty much just average crazy.
Okay, exactly.
I really am.
Me too.
Because I have a conscience and I do feel bad. I have a lot of empathy.
Imagine there's people, you're in the middle.
Yeah.
You're in the fucking middle. Imagine what's going on at the other end of that dude.
I know. It's scary. It scares me to death, I'm telling you.
Right on, man.
I'm telling you, it scares me to death. Golly. And, you know, when I think about all the stuff I've done, I just can't even believe it, you know?
I just can't believe you only got out of 2 DUIs. I mean, that is incredible.
Yeah, because I drove and drank every day.
As much as you drove.
Every day.
That is incredible.
Every day. Never had a DWI. I've never had a felony. Never had a drug charge. Nothing. I mean, I've always said I've been very, very blessed and lucky when it comes to stuff like that, you know. I mean, I had some struggles growing up, but I have gone to jail, but it was for dumb stuff, you know. But I've never had to deal with prison life or anything like that. And I mean, even the people that I went to rehab with, those girls that were younger than me were like, how do you look so good and you've been a drunk for almost 30 years? And I'm like, I don't know. But I always worked out. I always did stuff like that. I slept a lot, of course, because I was always hungover. So it is very strange that I'm not in jail, prison for killing someone. And I did get into an accident one night and I didn't even know it. Until the next day, I was looking out the window, and I went, well, that's weird. Where's my license plate? And I went out there, and the whole front of my car is dented in. And it scared me to death. I was, like, looking for hair. I was looking for blood. 4 days later, I was working at a place in Arlington. This guy walked in, and he said, hey, are you missing a license plate? I go, maybe. You know, like, I didn't want to say, and he goes, apparently, when I pulled into my apartment complex, there's those little pop bollards, you know? They're pop ballard. I don't know what they're called, but
speed bumps?
They're like the pipes that are about that high out of the ground.
Oh, to stop you from, like, driving through the building?
Yeah, and I hit one. The guy said I hit it so hard that he thought somebody was outside firing a shotgun. And he said it was so funny, you just put it in reverse and backed out and went on your way. Yeah, and he got my license plate. Yeah, I know. People... I'm telling you.
I wish that was the worst thing I ever did, but I feel you.
I mean, that's not the worst.
Oh, I know.
Honestly, we can't go into all that because it's just too damaging for people to hear, you know. Like, I can't.
I'm just waiting for something to catch up. I'm just waiting for something to catch up. It's only a matter of time.
Well, I don't think anything's coming after me anymore. You know, I mean,
good for you.
All of the people that either were mean to me as a child, and I say that lightly, or did me wrong as an adult are dead now. And so I feel like I'm getting to walk a pretty decent life without having those people constantly kind of there. They're dead, they're gone. And so that kind of opened up a whole world for me, you know. I mean, like I said, all my abusers are dead, so, you know. And so now I just kind of have to make amends to the people that have been good to me, you know, and the people that have kept me alive, because I promise you, there's been a lot of people praying for me over the years, you know. Yeah. It's a bummer for them. Yeah. And, you know, I was just talking to a coworker today because she's got someone in her life going through this, and she said, I just don't know what to do. I feel so helpless. And it just hit me like a, you know, of how we really don't, and it is a selfish disease, and God, you just don't know what you're doing to the people that you love. And at the time, you don't care. I didn't care. You know, it was almost a game.
You didn't even think about it.
It was a game almost to make it, see how bad I could get it, you know? Like, I mean, I hate to be that way, but that's the truth, you know? I mean, and so she's going through it, and she's crying, and she doesn't know what to do, and I tell people, you know, I'm not a big AA person, and I probably shouldn't say that, but I'm just not. My sobriety comes from many different pieces of puzzles. That's not one of them. I do have a group and I have a sponsor, but I am huge on Al-Anon. Huge.
Don't even know what that
I
is.
do believe in Al-Anon to a T. Al-Anon is where you go if a family member or a loved one is struggling with an addiction, and they will give you tools on how to deal with the addict. And it's
Gotcha.
It is Al-Anon is. I have a lot of praise for Al-Anon. They will teach you how to not to enable an addict. My mom went for years, and I tell you what, there at the end, before I moved out of Waxahachie, she was telling me no, and I was fuck you, but she would not. I couldn't. Before you can just knock them over. You just knock somebody over and get what you want, but she wasn't budging there at the end. So I was like, well, fuck this, I'm going to Arlington. How you change cities, you change friends, but I am. If I could tell anybody, even listening, if you know anyone struggling, Al-Anon is the place to go. They will help you. There's people just like that are just wanting to know, how do I deal with this person?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Because you can't love them to stop.
Yeah.
So that's a good tool, and that's a good tool.
So you're saying that you went to them, or your family went to them?
My mom did back in the 90s.
Without you knowing?
Mm-hmm. And then, and then it was so funny. I heard her announcing it to someone. She was telling someone that she was in Al-Anon. I go, for what?
So you knew what it was before?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've never even heard of that. I didn't know what it was. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've always heard about AA and Al-Anon, but I was like, well, when you're young, you don't ever think there's a problem.
Oh, not even close.
No, you're
Not
like, well,
even
this is just this is what you do in your 20s. And even in your 30s, you're like, well, I'm kind of established now. Okay, well, this is what I get to do because I'm established.
I'm making more money now, so I must be doing something right.
Something's good. I haven't died. I haven't gotten a DWI, even though I'd already gone through a marriage, lost 2 kids. I'm like, but I'm good. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, she announced it. She said, I'm going to Al-Anon. I was like, who the fuck are you going to Al-Anon for? Well, who do you think, Christy?
Didn't even cross your fucking mind.
No.
Just
Yeah. I was like, I'm telling you, it kills me, right?
Oh, yeah, tell me more about this thing. So, okay. Your mom says, I'm going to Al-Anon. You say, who the fuck for? And she's like, who the fuck do you think? How long does it take for you to sink into your brain? Is it instantly? As soon as she says it, you're like, oh shit, she's talking about me?
No, well, I got highly defensive, and I was like, that's fucking ridiculous. Are you kidding me right now? Like, I remember getting...
Like, you're not about to make a fucking scene right now, are you? Like that?
I was like, just dumbfounded. I go, you are so dramatic. But you have to remember, like I said, me and my mom are so close in age. I mean, I've dated guys with a larger age gap than me and my mom have. That's the truth. And she is... we raised each other. It's not a mom-daughter relationship. It just isn't. And so I get highly irritated with her, and so it really irritated me. I'm like, really? I watched you do the things that you did, which, I would never, disclose for her. But I thought, and now you're going to Al-Anon for me? Like, this is fucked up. But of course, how could you? Of course, I made it all about me. And then guess what? I got to go drink because, God, now my mom, she's doing this to me. I'm going to have a drink over this.
At least a drink.
At least. We're going to start with a couple and then go from there. So.
Okay, so you go out drinking that night. I can't believe she's going to do this right now to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
I mean, that's every night, pretty much, And then that's just the way I lived forever,
No, but like, when did she come back to you, and when did you start noticing that something was happening? When did you, how did this not stop drinking process happen? So that's when it started.
Well, my God, I'd been married for years, and she's been living in Waxahachie. I mean, she had no idea that it was as bad even after I was married as it was. I mean, it was kept such a secret. I didn't go out with people. I didn't want anybody to see it. I will say this about Burleson, Texas. They took me in the church that I go to. I go on, it's kind of like a recovery church on Saturday nights. The pastor, Rick, has been pivotal in my recovery. He is amazing. CrossFit Burleson has been absolutely pivotal in my recovery. I mean, I FaceTimed my coach from detox, you know, and they all stood behind me and rallied for me, and unlike anything I'd ever seen when I went into rehab, and nobody even knew. They had heard SNID, you know, every now and then I'd get real shit-faced, and I would call somebody on my phone and be like, oh my God, Christy called me, you know, like, you know, but nobody really knew what was really going on once I moved to Burleson, because I was trying to, you know, I had the home. I finally had a home. I had the little girl. I was 44. I mean, I realized at that point, you can't act this way, you know. I really fucked up because one of the nights that I snuck out, when I was sneaking back in, I dove through the window and hit the top of the window and landed on the floor, and he heard it obviously and came in and found me face down on the floor. I had to go to the hospital the next day. Well, one of my coaches, or no, she's not a coach, well, one of the fire breathers at CrossFit is the ER nurse, you know, giving me a banana bag. So that's kind of when things started really rolling, probably about 3 years ago. And so people were...
What'd you tell him you were doing?
Well, I was still drunk at the time because I got up.
So he thought you went out drinking, or...
No, he thought I was in there asleep. He had no idea.
He didn't know you came in from outside?
No.
I thought you came in and the window was open.
Well, I snuck out the window.
That's what I'm saying. I thought he caught you coming back in. Windows
well, I
open.
know because I dove through the window.
So
I was.
You got, you
I
were
did
able
a.
to get the
I
window
did.
shut
Yeah.
Before, so what do you think you were doing in that room? Like, what room were you in?
Well, I was in the bedroom. He thought I was in there
Your bedroom.
asleep. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And so I would crawl out and go out the window and go around and get in the car.
And you're so drunk, he has no idea what the fuck's happening.
No, he's in there playing video games or something, and I'm out driving around Burleson.
And then why do you end up going to the hospital then?
Well, because I had a knot on my head, like it was huge.
Gotcha. And then when you get there, they start asking questions. You got to tell this girl.
Well,
story.
I mean, it was clear I was so shit faced. I mean, they had to give me IV right off the bat. I mean, I'm so.
Oh, he took you to the ER because you're.
No, he was. That's about when the beginning of the end started. Probably about 3 years ago. He had seen so much at that point, and then he just. He let me pass out actually on the floor. And when I woke up on the floor, I said I was going to go to Whataburger and get something, and I ended up going to the beer store and started drinking again right then. And this gal that was a sponsor at the time, I called her because I was drunk and crying and I'm busted, and they came and picked me up and took me to the ER. Because she said, well, do something with my head. Is your head bad? And I said, yeah, I'll take a picture. And I was like, and I was like
Oh, shit.
I mean, I'm just dramatic, you know? Like, it's not even that bad. It's just like I'm not trying to kill myself, or it's just dumb. It's just stupid behavior. But you don't know how you're acting when you're that shit-faced, you know? You just do shit. So that was kind of the beginning of the end. And then, well, I mean, to be completely honest, the real end was, you know, it was February... What is it? The 6th was on a Monday, and so it was the 4th, that Friday. It was a normal day, and I was back on I'm not going to drink again, I promise, you know, and I would always write day 1 on the calendar. I mean, I have so many day 1s on these calendars. And it was a normal day. I went to CrossFit, went to the store. Me and Penny were making cupcakes, and I thought I should just have a glass of wine. And within an hour, he was calling on his way home. He could tell I was shit-faced already. And I knew that he was coming around the corner, and I left my little daughter on the bed and left the house. And because that's what drunk Christy does, is leaves her 3-year-old or 4-year-old in the house, you know, by herself. And he was driving around the corner. It's not like he was like 15 minutes down the way. But I can justify it all I want. The fact of the matter is I still left her, and anything can happen in 2 seconds. So, and then when he got there, and Dan is the most nonviolent guy, I mean, he ripped that house apart. I mean, that's the angriest I bet he's ever. I didn't see it because, of course, I had already gone to wherever I was going to get more booze, and, you know, I'd already been caught. And so he loaded her up and he went to his parents. And so that gave me the whole weekend to just drink nonstop. And I finally, right then, I was like, you know what, my marriage is over. I'm miserable. I'm going to take this elevator to the bottom floor. And I did. And so, but again, everything happens for a reason, you know. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to you probably because I survived that. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm getting something out there. Maybe something helps someone, you know?
That's exactly what it's about.
You know what I mean? And that's all, you know, and I've realized, you know, early on whenever I did get sober and that, you know, that maybe I do have a purpose in life, you know? I'm not perfect. I'm still a work in progress. I still don't know how to be in relationships or how to communicate. You know, like, I don't know. I still cry. I still throw fits. I'm dramatic. You know what I mean? I still isolate. You know, I get depressed. I don't talk to anybody for a week, and people are knocking on my door. And but I was able to get tools in rehab that I'd never had before, which gave me tools on how to maybe deal with a situation a little different. You know? And I didn't go, like they said, to the Hilton of rehabs. I went over off Lancaster Avenue in downtown Fort Worth where, you know, people are shooting up in the streets, you know. But I need to see people like that because I can be there in a second. In a second.
You're an injury away. You're an accident away.
Mm-hmm.
You're a bad day away.
Mm-hmm.
You're one drunk drive away.
Yep.
You're a walking fucking accident.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Every day.
That's the reality of it. You are a walking, talking, fucking accident.
Yeah. Every day.
Load it up. Load it up.
And you just don't know, you know, is today going to be the day? But if you can stay, and I'm not a huge, and I don't preach, you know, God saved me and God did this, you know, there was somebody watching my back all these years. I believe that. I do believe in my higher power. Obviously, I wouldn't be sitting here. And so I do believe, you know, yeah, I do believe in a higher power, and I do believe in God. And, you know, I always thank God for helping me take away this pain. But here's the thing, is all those years, the pain that I was trying to drown out, I don't even think I've thought about it one time. Any of that stuff.
It comes back, don't it?
It's like, real weird.
You got to figure it out. Then you're forced to figure it all out.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you start coping at that point?
Well, I
guess one more question. What was the rehab you went to? Well, I guess you said the one over Lancaster.
Yeah, it's Billy Gregory. It was.
They're doing good things over there, right? So if anybody in Fort Worth,
needs
or
to
anywhere,
go, anybody,
if you need a bus ticket,
anywhere,
whatever, from anywhere.
Yeah, and look, I'll go help anybody. I will pick
on.
somebody up, and I always have a mail with me but Billy Gregory saved my life. That's the truth. They got me a bed within 2 days in detox. I was transferred over. Pine Street is the detox or the rehab, but they had a new like a spiritual, what's called ambulatory rehab, and they extended my stay, and I got to go for 72 days, but I got to go from 8 to 5 every day, and so I got to go home at night and be with my little daughter. But they did say if I relapsed, they were putting me straight up into Pine Street. But these people at this ambulatory, I mean, it was counseling. Everybody in Billy Gregory in that place, from the counselors to the people that check you in, are in recovery. They have a hard time under their belt. They know exactly what they're dealing with. People like me, we cannot have things sugar-coated, you know, because I'll take advantage of you on the drop of a hat, you know. I just will. You have to be straight up honest with me, and I respect it a lot more, and I like it a lot more, because if you sugarcoat anything with me, I'm just not. It doesn't sink in. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And they didn't sugarcoat anything, and they gave me the counseling that I needed, and I never missed a day, and I went every day, and I soaked it up. And I remember one of the worst things they had me do was write my obituary. And the person that you love most in the world would have to read it. And the person I love most in this world, I love my kids, but my brother is the person in this world that is just, you know.
That's it, yeah.
I mean, we're only 9.5 months apart, and we went through life together, you know. I mean, we've seen some stuff, you know, and I saw him get, you know, really tortured as a child, and I have a real soft spot for him. And I read it as though he was reading it. And it tore me up. I mean, I have all that stuff still. I keep everything, you know. And so the exercises they give you, and I tell people this too, you know, there was a lot of people in there, and you can always tell people that aren't ready, that are just there to pacify someone, because I'm not fucking doing that stupid.
Oh,
they're going to cause me to relapse,
you have to want it. If you don't want it, don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time.
Well,
don't even waste
I
that.
wouldn't say that. Go. It might plant a
Yeah,
seed.
if it can plant a seed, yeah.
It might plant a seed.
Yeah, because I never had gone to rehab or detox or anything. Can you believe that? In 28 years, I thought about it, but yeah, I mean, in 28 years it took. But I did every single thing they told me to do. Everything.
So one, go. Mm-hmm. Preferably take it seriously. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, you have to want it. Mm-hmm. Just like anything else in this world, you have
really
to want
do.
it.
And you have to work at it. And I've never wanted to work on anything. I've never wanted to work on my marriages. I've never really wanted to be a mom. I just pacified everything, But I work on this daily, And guess what? Now I am better in relationships. I am a better mom. I'm a better human, because I am working so hard at something. So I don't feel like it's a crutch. I don't feel like I'm missing anything anymore. I remember before when Dan's like, you got to go to AA. You got to go to AA. I can't do this. And I would go to do that kind of stuff just to pacify, Mm-hmm. But I knew.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean, but no, I wasn't, I was drinking in the car before I'd go into meetings. I mean, it just was, because we're not ready. I wasn't ready. And you can't force anybody into anything. That's a known fact. I don't care.
You know how hard it is to make yourself do something?
Yeah.
What chance you got of making somebody else do something?
Yeah.
None.
And so I wasn't ready at all, And honestly, I tell people this a lot too. If you just don't think about, because I had it ingrained in my head, well, there's no way that I could never take another drink the rest of my life. I could live another 50 years. There's no possible way.
You've turned it off.
You can't think that way. You can't. But you just have to take it, some days 1 minute at a time, some days 1 hour at a time, just one day at a time. Say, just for today, I'm not going to drink. Just for today, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to work, And we'll see how we feel after work. Let's just get through the 8-hour day, Go be around some people, And then if I make it home and I get in bed and I'm watching something on Netflix or something, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go to bed. Made it through another day, But you have to have that mindset, and you have to. And look, I've dealt with some tough stuff in sobriety, I mean, I got divorced. I'm trying to think. I did everything that they tell you not to do in the first year, I got my own place. I got divorced, I just started working full time, trying to get my little daughter figured out, where she's going to stay. And it's been a very hard struggle. It's been a hard struggle, financially, mentally. But these are all struggles I welcome, because going back to that other life, it's just not an option for me, because I will die. That's the truth. I will die. I know I'll die. I know I will.
Or worse.
Mm-hmm. And I'll die or I'll kill someone. That's the worst, is that my little daughter gets thrown out of the car because I'm turning a corner, And
you wouldn't live long with that.
No. My God. No. And I have to remain spiritually fit to hurdle some obstacles that could come my way. My brother has health issues. He's sick. And, I really don't have a lot of family. I have a mom, a brother, and my 3 kids. That's all I have in my life as far as family goes, And so I have to at least try to stay strong for these people, that are relying on me now. Because 3 years ago, nobody would even let their kids come near me, come in my house. My family didn't want to have anything to do with me. My poor brother, he was just done, we had been strained for years over the drinking, So you lose a lot.
He loved you that much.
Mm-hmm.
To not want to watch it.
Yeah. You want to hear something interesting? His wife that he was married to, and I won't say her name, but he was married for a few years. It was his only time he was married. She was a severe alcoholic, and I mean severe, and we would party together, all of us. Well, eventually, he just couldn't handle it anymore, and so they divorced. She died 3 years ago, Christmas, of alcoholism. When I was in rehab, her brother that I used to party with came and told his story and said, hey, that plant right there is for my sister. It was a plant sitting in it's crazy. She showed me a picture of her, before she died. She was down to like 60 pounds, was drinking up until the day she died. Yeah.
And that hit my brother pretty hard, and he's like, God, I'm so glad, you're sober. And I mean, but it was a real trip running into that guy at rehab.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I've heard now that he's gone back out, and he's been out for a long time. I mean, what if I've been gone for 2.5 years, so. And not everybody. I'm the only person out of my whole group that has stayed sober.
What do you mean by make it out?
Like he went back out as far as he's back out there doing the deed. He's drinking and that I heard. Now,
what do you call it when somebody's still in? You call somebody still in or somebody's still out? What do you call that? It's like I didn't know. I've never heard that terminology before. That he's out.
I think that some people call it different things. Going back out is usually what they say when somebody goes out.
Gotcha.
They've gone back out.
And if you ask about somebody, and you're curious about their sobriety, do you ask them, hey, did so-and-so go back out? Or?
Yes, and typically a lot of people, the real sticklers, will be like, well, I can't talk about that, which means obviously they did.
Oh, you're not supposed to talk about each other.
Well, it's real funny. I have a real love-hate relationship with the groups, because I believe in helping people to the very end, and a good friend of mine was having some hard times last year, and one of his sponsors told me, give it till midnight, and then you got to let him go. And I'm like, I don't work that way,
What do you mean give it till midnight?
If we haven't heard from him, if you haven't heard from him, if he hasn't contacted you, you gotta let it go. He's gonna do his own thing. You can't enable him. But unfortunately, I am still trying to learn boundaries with people. But I'll always help you if you need me. Always, hands down. There's just not. I would never ever turn down somebody that needed help. Never.
Yeah.
I mean, I think of all the people that helped me when they should have turned their back but didn't. So it is. There's some real hardcore sticklers that they're just like, this is the way it's got to be done. We're going by the book. No, I'm not by the book. I never have been, And nothing in my life is by the book, Like I said, I'm still a work in progress, okay?
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to learn how to use a treadmill at the gym. Let's just throw that out there.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky that Penny brushes her teeth every day. It ain't because I tell her. She just goes in there and does it. I mean, she's smart. She knows to brush her teeth.
Yeah.
She never had a cavity.
Yeah.
You just do the best you can do. But it is hard, trying to. And I'll tell people this too, living with the guilt, you can't do that. If you beat yourself up every day, you'll go back out for sure. You can't do it. I used guilt as well, I get to drink over this because I did something bad, and I feel so guilty, But you can't do that. You just have to move on from it. Make your amends. I do believe in the 12 steps. I personally believe everybody should have a 12-step program, honestly. It's a good way of unloading some really bad demons, and making amends to people that have, that you've hurt, sitting down with those people. And even if they don't want your amends, you can know you did it, it's out there.
So when you say people you hurt, like I know you obviously sit down with your mom and, your brother and those people, but outside of your mom and your brother, I guess your husband, those immediate people, like who else did you seek out in that forgiveness process?
I sought out a couple of old coworkers, bosses that had put a lot of faith in me, because I'm a hard worker and I can do a good job and I can talk my way into anything. And I let them down, I'd get so drunk I didn't go to work, quit the job or whatever. And I sought out, a couple of old employers, people that I'd stolen money from, obviously my kids, that's a real hard one to swallow, I didn't get to raise two of my kids, so that's
you weren't there, that's not you.
My son is awesome, my 16-year-old has a real hard time with it, she really has a hard time, and she didn't have a mom, and then but we have a really nice relationship, it's loving and sweet, but you can see the pain in her face, like, oh my God, it tears me up, and she needs me. She needed me for many years, I wasn't there. Thank God, for whatever reason, all the people that I've been with in my life, I seem to have picked 3 perfect dads for these kids. It's the weirdest thing.
That's awesome.
I mean, all the people, like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most women have it the other way around. They've got 3 or 4 kids and ain't found one good dude yet.
No, they were all. I mean, well, the second one's questionable, but he's pretty cool too. I like him. He's a fun guy. You know,
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
that you'd ever marry or anything. We just had a lot of fun, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, they're all been good dads. You know, and especially Brooke and Jacob's dads. I mean, they picked up the slack and raised those kids.
That's crazy.
You know, I still pay child support
Yeah.
on one.
Yeah.
Been paying for 16 years on her.
Yeah.
Well, 14. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of fallout, Partying is not the end all, but you sure think it is when you're doing it, You just, I don't know what it is about people like me. We just crave something so much,
So what are you hooked on now? Other than lemon water.
I do love lemon water.
So lemon water,
Yeah.
CrossFit.
I
So
love
exercising, fitness. We can say CrossFit, but fitness, right?
Yeah, CrossFit, especially CrossFit
CrossFit's just the
Burleson,
medium, right?
they have really, my coaches there, like I said, they stood by me, and everybody in that whole community stood by me throughout that whole deal. And so, but CrossFit, not just CrossFit alone, though. I'm one of those people where I have to release something out of my brain. Like, I don't know what they call it, but it helps me. It helps me, working out just helps me. It helps my brain, So working out, I do love to work out. I just lay low, really. I watch a lot of movies, a lot of Netflix, a lot of movies, a lot. I mean, I'm just in music. I love music, It's just my obsessions, really.
So you've just seen all the movies, huh? Everything.
I mean, I try.
What is it about? Is it just you're just fascinated about make believe or what?
I think it's just a good escape. It's just a nice escape for 2 hours. It just is. It always has been for me.
Are movies different now that you're not drinking?
Well, no, they're better, because I'm not drunk. I remember them.
You remember them now?
Yeah. They're great, I mean, I love biopics. I love, I've just always been fascinated with storytelling anyway. And a good movie, I just love a good movie, So, I love writers. I love all that stuff, People that can think, how they think of these ideas just kills me, I got a lot of respect for those kind of people, artists.
Mm-hmm.
They're artists in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I wonder why sometimes, I'm like one of those people, I'm like, why wasn't I born with a huge gift? We all think that,
Oh, you have a gift for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
Absolutely, you've got one.
Well, no, I do. I
Okay.
know, but I'm like, why can't I just be like a classic pianist? Or,
Yeah.
You know what I
Did you get
mean?
a cool gift, you
Why?
mean?
Yeah, I wanted a cool.
Why didn't I get any cool gifts?
But then you see, like, people with cool gifts. I mean, God love him. Look at Heath Ledger. Greatest Joker ever. Addicted. I mean, Robin Williams, one of the greatest comedians. So depressed. Can't even, can't live another day. Can't live another day. I mean, if that doesn't tell you that you're not alone, nothing else will, And I'm not just saying it's because it's a celebrity, but, I mean, and what I feel bad about, and, a lot of people ask me too, because I'll post stuff on Facebook, and they're, I'll get a message or two, or people at work will say, why do you say all that stuff? I feel like it's my duty, honestly.
Why you say stuff about your sobriety on it?
Yeah,
Facebook?
yeah, and because I do. I feel a great sense of duty to tell people that this is my story. It may not be that, it's not that unique from any other drunk's story. It's really not. Honestly, mine's pretty fucking tame, as things go. But I feel like I have a duty because it is such a shameful disease, I mean, at the end, I was so embarrassed and ashamed. I just wish I knew somebody that was like me that would drink with me or do this, or just something. I knew AA was there, but I don't know. There was nobody I knew that really talked openly about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. You do have AA. People, and I'm not downing AA, if you need to go to a meeting every night, I say go to a meeting. Whatever your puzzle piece is that helps you, do it. Oh my God, by all means.
Just do something.
Do something. So it's a great burden that is lifted off me to do service work, and I don't do as much as I should,
So what does that include? You say that you go. What do you do?
Well, sometimes I go down to the rehab that I was at, and they like me to come down there and speak. I go in and sit in the group and talk to the people. But I've only done it. I haven't done it in a while. I work so much, and I need to get back down and do that. I've really kind of. So you invite, with all of this, inviting me to come over here has really kind of lit a fire under me with all this talking. Because I really don't shut the fuck up. I'm telling you. And so it lights a fire under me, like, okay, you need to do more. My best friend in the world, Heather and Brendy, who had my back. I try to go to this women's shelter and tell my story there to women, give them stories of strength and hope. Look, like I made it. It's hard. It sucks, but you can do it, And I haven't done that in a while, It's just, you just kind of get caught in the trappings of life, You
need to become independently wealthy.
Well, somebody said you shouldn't have never got a divorce, and I said, well, what? I mean, that's stay married and not have to work, and
so many people do.
Yeah, and not have to work, but hadn't enough been done to that poor guy, and plenty others. I'm not going to take another dime of his money. If I need it, he'll give it to me. Nicely. So that's not fair to anybody, and I think that's selfish too. A lot of people are like, well, I really, really got a lot of shit over leaving that relationship from a lot of people, because, again, he didn't beat me and he didn't, verbally abuse me, never did anything, cheated, nothing, fantastic human. But sometimes even the best person in the world is not supposed to be your partner.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah. They just think, and I tell people this now, too. My whole life, I always thought, because I was so scattered with, all the relationships that my parents went through and all the moving around and going back and forth. And I thought, if I just had a home someday and a husband and a kid, this pipe dream that you think.
This outside search for happiness.
Outside search for happiness. But what I realized when I finally got that home, that dream home that I wanted, that we bought here in Burleson, and I was so lonely inside that house, and I was drinking more heavily then, and I realized that it's just 4 walls. That's it. It's just 4 walls. That's it. And if whether it's bricked up or it's in an apartment, you're still in 4 walls, and that's not going to make you happy. You can get in there and have the dream life all you want, but you don't know what goes on in people's homes, and living in that house didn't make me any happier. I got a 700 square foot apartment around the corner, and I love going home every day. There's a certain peace to it, you know what I mean? I do miss my house, but but he kept it. I'm glad he kept it. My little daughter has her home to go to,
Right on.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's good.
And someday he said he might even rent it to me if he decides to buy another one. So
there you go. That'd be badass.
Whatever,
Right on. That'd be cool.
I'm open to anything.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford it right now, but that's all right.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. So I don't know. That's it, really, for me. I just, like I said, my biggest hope is that someday that people will acknowledge that there is a problem. It may be circumstances do take you to where you are. Maybe some people are drunks because they just cannot handle the pain and they die that way. And maybe some people do have a disease. What do you think?
I think too much.
You see, I talk too much. I got so much.
You can't turn it off. You can't turn it off.
No. That's why I sleep good at night. 10 to 12 hours a night of sleep.
Man,
I get.
I wish I had that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a good sleeper.
Oh, God.
No, I'm in bed. I'm just not resting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I can sleep.
I'm trying to get, like, restful sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I can lay in bed for 12 hours and be asleep, but when I wake up, it feels like that much time go by.
Oh, God. I can sleep like a mug. I'm telling you right now, I can sleep for 12 hours, wake up, eat a good breakfast, and take a 3-hour nap. It's wonderful. I love those days. I had that. When did I have that? Not too long ago. It's very rare.
You need to become independently wealthy then.
I wish. But I like working too.
No, you start your own business, work 3 or 4 hours a day, have your normal 12-hour night, sleep in the morning, get up, have your breakfast, brunch, shit, shower, shave, take your 3-hour nap, wake up, do your exercising, get that shit done, then go do your job, whatever your money source is for 3 hours a day. Next thing you know, it's 6, 7 o'clock, it's dinner time.
No,
Bada bing, bada boom, you got your day.
I feel like that's just, I did that. I kind of enjoy working.
That's what I'm saying. Work from a laptop.
Here's the thing: is I want to travel. That's my
what I'm
big
saying.
goal. I really want to travel.
Get you a laptop job that you can work 3 hours a day. Why would you want?
I don't even know how to do that.
It's fucking 2019. You can do whatever you want.
Well, that is true.
Information is everywhere.
I will tell you this: I am a driven person.
That's what I'm saying.
Very driven.
You're an addict anyway. You just got to focus your addiction on something healthy.
Well, at 40, I got my GED and went to college.
Fucking there you go. It's in there.
2 years ago, I got into this business, the eyeballs, and I love the eyeballs.
I'm telling you.
I just got certified. So I love what I do, honestly. I wish I could take one day off more a week. I wish I could do it part-time. That's the truth. Just go in and do it part-time and do like what you're saying. But it's hard. Someday, maybe. But again, I'd have to get with someone that's probably got, a substantial amount of money. And
for what?
I don't really want to do that.
Why would you have to do that?
Well,
you can start a side hustle from a laptop on your nights and weekends.
Yeah.
And within a year, it'll be bringing in money. And then over 2 years,
I just don't know what kind of side hustle. What do you...
You like eyes, right?
I do love eyes.
Okay, there you go. Start with that.
So, some girl apparently sells her panties online. I could do that, but...
Okay, if we're going to talk about dirty shit, there is no end to the dirty shit you can do as a female to make money.
Well, I know.
It is fucking endless.
Let me just tell you this.
I'm not a creep. I'm a dirty boy, okay? I'm a bad boy. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not. But as far as like creep, disgusting, like funky, nasty, no.
Well, there is this thing. My best friend Brendy heard about this, and she said, let's do your profile. Let's get you a profile. Let's just see what it's about. It was like a sugar daddy website. I'm not going to fucking lie. That was, this 75-year-old man, I think he was 72, offered to pay me $400 a week for 1 hour to come put a dildo in his ass.
Oh.
That's no shit. $400 for 1 hour a week.
Oh.
She was getting all of them. I was working full time. She didn't work full time, so she was running the whole thing. She's like, "We got to check this out and see what's going." So I'd be at work and my phone would be bing, 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 and she's like, "Oh my God, look at this!" She's sending me screenshots. Look what this guy wants you to do. One guy wanted me to meet him down the road at the Scottish Inns and blow him for like $600 every 2 weeks. Oh my God, there's a whole world out there.
People have no idea what's going on.
No idea.
They're so trapped in television and movies and politics that they have no fucking clue what's really going on right outside their front fucking door. They think it's somewhere else.
No.
Everybody thinks it's somewhere else.
No.
Motherfucker, it's in your house. It's next door. It's across the street. It's fucking everywhere.
Listen, I know someone personally that got a hand job at a massage parlor in this town. I know him personally, and I don't know just one.
You know the masseuse or the
place?
Oh.
Yeah. I know the place, and I know several people that have gone there and gotten a hand job. It's right here in Burleson, Texas. They're all over. But yeah.
You know what those are called?
What?
Jack Shacks.
Jack Shacks!
I knew you'd fucking like that.
Jack Shack. I do like that.
Jack Shack, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a whole website dedicated to this.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
It didn't gross me out or anything. What intrigued me? Well, one guy...
Well, first of all, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the off-the-radar black market sex industry? Mutual. You see it's mutual.
Mm-hmm. If it's mutual, I don't care what people do. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. You know what? If I didn't feel bad and there's two things I've never been in my life, and that was a prostitute and a stripper. And I can honestly say that. And I'm shocked that I wasn't, because I lived in a crack house for a while. So, but that being said,
I couldn't do it. I finally told her, get me off that fuck. I don't even want my picture on there. But it was fun. We had a fun time reading through all the profiles and one guy just wanted me to meet him with a friend at the park, and he just wanted to rub my feet for an hour a week. And he just wanted to lavish me with gifts, like just to rub my feet in public. You know, like it's a whole world. Yeah, I could make a lot of side money, but I don't feel comfortable as me doing something like that. But I hold no judgment to what people do in their life at all. You know, people do what they have to do to survive. People do what they have to do to do. I don't know. I mean, if that's how you get your kicks, I mean, I cannot imagine, and I have tried to wrap my brain around this fucker for 2 years now, as to why a 72-year-old man that can't even get it up, really, probably, wants a dildo put in his ass for an hour a week. I don't even know. It fascinates me. It really does.
How long ago was this when you saw this?
Oh, God, 2 years, over 2 years.
That's funny because I have a 74-year-old guy that works for me right now. I'm just wondering if it was him.
We're going to just go do him real quick, get $400.
And he likes to leave for an hour every now and then. So.
Oh, my God. Well, maybe he's on seeking arrangement. Maybe he's a sugar daddy. Does he have that kind of money?
How much is it? $400 a month?
$400 a week.
$400 a week? Yeah, he could come up with that.
My God. And that's another thing is like, these poor old guys, the money, they could be using that money for charity. Like,
yeah, you have no idea how much they already have.
I know. The whole thing fascinated me. It really did. It really did.
Crazy.
I loved reading some of their profiles. It was amazing. Most of those men wanted, this is what got me too, most of the men wanted them and their friend on you. You know,
male?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And that's what a lot of them wanted. My friend would send me messages. She's like, "Oh my God, these two want to do it," you know. And I'm like, they would want to go. And I'm like, I ain't going. No. So it's some blacked out shit out there, man.
I'll show you something.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's some fucked up shit. But you know what? To each his own. I mean, my God.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I'm all about. I'm obviously totally against anybody doing anything against their will. So I'm talking about voluntarily consensual adults.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, if you're an adult, and yeah, I mean, my God, yeah. Like, and again, I'm not a judgmental person. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. I'm not here. Who am I to judge you? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to live my best life.
But that's not the life. That's and that's, I know it's weird, but that's the people that they're busting, you know, with these stings online,
mm-hmm.
like consensual people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's weird. Like, why go after that group? You
I know.
Be after people that are forced into this.
Yes.
Like, go into a strip club. Look at how many women are forced to be there.
Yeah, and they got to meet a quota.
Whenever you said, yeah, it's usually hefty too. Whenever you said two guys wanting to be with a chick, somebody sent me this one guy sends me all this dirty shit, but he sent me this, and this is exactly why I would have nothing to do with me being naked with another dude in the room.
Let me see. Oh, Jesus.
Did you watch it? Watch it.
Yep, there it goes, right in there. If you think you're having a bad day, you got to send me that.
Oh,
I got a couple
so
of
bad.
people that would love that.
That is so bad.
I can't take my eyes off of it.
That is
I'm telling you, I've
bad.
got like a 10-year-old boy brain. I love all that
Sense
stuff.
of humor?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I listen to Howard Stern every day. I love all that kind of nasty talk. I mean, I should
I'm
be
a
more.
huge Stern fan. He's my favorite.
Oh
man.
God, he's my favorite.
He's badass.
I listened to the 3 times I got him waiting on his book. I pre-ordered that new book of his, and I haven't gotten it yet.
Really? And
Yeah.
actually, I ordered a book recently that I haven't got. So
I
you're a
want
reader.
it.
You're a reader, I guess.
Mhm.
Awesome, cool.
Not a lot. I don't sit down and read a lot, but I want to read more. You know.
Yeah.
It's just really something has to really catch me.
What are a couple books that that just jump off your mind as memorable or for whatever reason?
Well, I love The Great Gatsby. That's my all-time favorite book.
Okay.
But I love a book called Ride the Wind. It's about, and I've got it at home. It's my mom's. She turned me on to it. It's a true story about a Fort Parker in Texas that was raided by the Indians back in the 1800s, and one of the girls, Cynthia Ann Parker, was kidnapped and raised with them for almost 30 years. Lived with them, married a chief raided, and then the Texans caught her and took her back to East Texas and forced her to live out the rest of her life there. And it is quite the tale.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They still have Fort Parker down there. It's like in, well, you're from Houston, Malakoff. Not Malakoff.
Yeah, but I left there when I was like
7. It's down in that area,
Okay.
Houston, where that fort was raided. But, so that's a really good book. I like true stories. I like
nonfiction.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? I don't have a lot of book smarts. I like stuff like that. I went through a whole serial killer phase in the early 90s. I had to read every book on every serial killer. Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
I mean, probably Ted Bundy, of course, just because he's just so unique. Very unique. I did really enjoy a book on John Wayne Gacy. And there's one from Texas. His name was Kenneth McDuff. And he is a very interesting motherfucker, let me tell you. But he is a shitty bastard. I mean, he's dead now. They executed him. But he...
I've never heard his name before, I don't think.
Oh, God, he was awful. Brutal. I find it interesting, these guys. I actually watched an hour-long video of Jeffrey Dahmer speaking about his cravings and the things inside that drove him. And that was quite interesting. Really, all of them are...
He was a weird dude, man.
Yeah, he was. All of them are pretty damn fascinating, honestly. It's hard to pick a favorite because they're just... It's a very interesting topic. Like, man... It's like, why am I an addict? Well, and why does this person like to go and rape and kill women? Why does this guy like to... You know what I mean?
That's what addiction is. It's a thing that you're driven to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something with a motive you don't understand. It's a behavior that you're doing with a motive you don't understand.
So that's why, in all reality, when I break it down like what you just said, I think, okay, well then, it is something in the brain. Because most of us are born with empathy, but people that kill like that, he said it, Jeffrey Dahmer, in that interview, he said, I did not, once I picked out my victim, I did not see them as a human anymore. And I didn't feel anything. When they would cry or beg, it's shut off. So if you can't, so maybe there is something in the brain. It's got to be, right? I mean, I can't imagine, like, I don't even kill spiders, for real. Like, I can't handle it, you know? I just don't, you know? I don't want to take any kind of life, you know? Like, fuck that shit, you know? So, that's weird. But I do like books like that. What do you read?
Mostly, like, excuse me. Mostly I've been reading financial and self-help, spiritual, a lot of spiritual books. So those are probably the three main ones. Business, management, money, finances, stuff like that. I'm trying to figure all that out because never had examples in those departments. You know, I never had people teaching me about finances or teaching me about this or life or role models or money models or, you know, business models, any of that shit. So picking up on that, and then definitely motivation type, success, conquering self, all that stuff. And then spirituality, some of that.
Do you find too, I don't know if you're this way, but I find that I get like really excited about one thing and then I'll do it and then I'm like, it just kind of peters out, you know? I mean, I've only kind of stuck with a few things, but like something I really want to do. I remember I started yoga and I was like, oh my God, I got to go get a yoga license. I got to teach yoga. Like 3 weeks later, I was like, fuck yoga. You know, like, or about a year later, I was like, I can't do this anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to find it, you know, like you said that, or, you know, or I said earlier something about the, you know, external search for happiness, you know, or external search for whatever. It's like
It's
I'm constantly
hard.
on the hunt something. But that's the thing is that really I feel like, and especially after this past weekend, because I was able to decompress a bunch, but when I look at my life, I feel like what's really derailed, obviously my drinking, drugs, whatever, sex mostly, but drinking, drugs, and everything else too. But what derailed me the most, I feel like, was my choice of career. Like I felt like, looking back, I fucked up bad by my choice of career. Like I never took it seriously. You know what I'm saying? I never thought I was ever gonna be anything because there was never, like, we never talked about goals in my house. We never talked about finances in my house. I just knew we were fucking broke.
That's me too.
That's it.
Never knew.
Yeah.
Why can't I get this? We don't have the money. Shut up. You know.
I mean, we had some really awesome Christmases. Some awesome. My stepdad did a really badass job, but I mean, most of the time, I mean, it was fucking thin, man. I mean, we were getting like necessities and shit for Christmas. You know, like in our stocking, we're getting socks and underwear, like normal shit. You know, I mean, not stuff that other people are normally doing for Christmas.
Right,
you know?
right.
But yeah, I don't know why I got sidetracked on that shit. We were talking about books. What was that talking about?
Well, I mean, I've experienced the same thing.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. Sorry.
Oh, because we always go from thing to thing to thing. So I was talking about work, and I've just been so obsessed with work because I have an addictive personality. So I've always been like this crazy hard worker. No matter what it was, I want to be the best at it. I want to be great.
Well, that's what we are. We are driven people. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's what you're focused on is what matters. That's it, whether it is toxic or whether it's healthy is all that matters. It's either above or below the line.
Yeah.
You know, it's that's it. But yeah, I was so addicted to work. I didn't step back and realize I was smart enough to not be living that sort of lifestyle of rat race. But shit, why'd I keep getting sidetracked? Anyway, so I was so busy fucking working and drinking. Yeah, I was so busy fucking working and drinking that the outside world didn't fucking exist. Like it wasn't a thing. Like I was so caught up in myself that nothing else fucking mattered. You know?
That's why I like to do a lot of stuff now. Like go out and just go hiking and, you know, because I lived inside for so long, you know.
Yeah.
I just want to get out and do stuff, you know. People are like, God, you have so much energy. You go. Because I was so idle. I mean, I was idle for years, you know. I did stuff. But did I enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? Were we fully embraced in the moment? No, not at all.
Do you spend all your time, like, getting ready to drink or getting off of a hangover?
Yeah. Every day, and then especially like going to parties. You know, if I knew we were going somewhere, I'd start having severe panic attacks because I knew that I was gonna get so fucked up and embarrass myself, embarrass Dan, his family would just be. I just knew it because I would black out every time, and then I'd get the call the next day, and so of course, to get rid of the panic attacks, I started pre-gaming, you know, to ease the panic attacks. So then you get there and you start doing, and I'm a shot taker. I want to get as fucked up as I can, as quick as I can. Yeah. I mean, as quick. I was the worst. You can take me anywhere. We'd be in and out in an hour. I'd have to be carried out there at the end.
Oh my goodness.
Because I would slam. I mean, just shot after shot after shot after shot. Till I was just done, blacked out, carried out. It wasn't always like that. I did start out having a good time, you know. And I did a lot of coke to help me keep awake, you know. I mean...
Try a lot of shit along the way.
Yeah, but there at the end, I mean, you know, you just, there's nothing that really means anything. Nothing.
So you drink at work? I never drank at work. Never.
There at the end, I did. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, did people at work fucking recognize and know?
No, because Dan was like, I think you just need to get a part-time job. Because I actually got to stay home with Penelope. So he's like, I think you need to get a part-time job. So I was like, okay. So I went and worked at Home Depot. Okay. Well, great job, part-time. Fuck that up. So then he's like, well, get you another one. You're good. Go.
Did they fire you or what?
No, I just quit going because I was so fucked up.
Oh.
And so then I started working at Staples. And that was like 3 days a week for 3 hours, just cashiering. So I'd fill up a glass like that with Powerade and wine. Because I go with movies all the time by myself. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't, I go all the time by myself.
Has anything,
and I'm the type, too, where I start conversations with everybody around me.
Before the movie starts, right? Not in the movie.
No, in the movie.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm one of the worst.
Oh,
I'm one of those. Like, I went to see this movie last week called Final Intruder, and I was sitting next to this black couple, and I could hear it going, where'd he come from? And I did that. I go, oh, my God, there's tunnels. He's got tunnels under that house. We're talking. Yeah, I'm a talker. I have to zip it with some people because I get really angry. And I'm a singer, you know, of course, Bohemian Rhapsody. I was like, oh.
You sang during a movie?
Yeah, well, I mean, when he's singing.
Shut up.
Yeah. I mean, he did the whole Live Aid concert on the big screen. Of course I'm going to fucking sing it, you know.
Not in the movie theater.
I mean, I wasn't like belting it out, but you know, I'll be singing during Rocket Man. I love all that shit.
I would have came back the next night. I'd have been like, no, I'll see the next one.
No, it's not that bad. It really isn't. I do get highly excited over movies. I like that. I like Fantasyland sometimes,
awesome.
you know.
That's awesome.
It's the little things that excite me,
Yeah.
really, at this point in my life.
Yeah. I bet if you really wanted to, you could find a way to find something to do with eyes, get you a laptop, find you a way to get you a little Instagram page going, and get you a little product, you know, do some drop shipping or something, find something you're interested in. I bet you could figure it out. You're smart.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
You like books? Pick up like 2 books on how to make money from a laptop.
Yeah, but I'm not an avid reader. Like, I listen to music and watch movies more than I read, you know. I think I have like probably 10 books in my house.
Yeah. Whenever you're at work, do you talk to a lot of people, or is it just...
Yeah, I work with patients all day. I'm with patients all day.
Okay.
So, working at patients. So.
I was going to say, I would suggest audiobooks, but that ain't going to work for you at work, huh?
No.
You don't really drive that far, what, about 20 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's 40 minutes a day.
See, I listen to Howard Stern. I can't get that.
Yeah.
I can't get... Because I can't listen to Howard when I got Penelope.
What's he on now?
Sirius. I have the Sirius
Good for
app.
him. He's still there.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Good for him.
He's
Who's still on the
amazing.
show?
Hmm?
Who's still on the show? Last time I was listening, I didn't know exactly why, but it was shortly after Artie fell off.
Oh,
so what happened?
Have you seen him recently?
No.
Oh, I got to show you a picture of him.
I heard he got sober, right?
No. He's worse than he's ever been.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Well, you know he tried to stab himself. Well, he did. He stabbed himself 9 times. And... that's why they finally had to let him go. They were like, we are contributing. I mean, it was a horrible deal. So it's Howard, Fred.
So did he come back after I thought he was gone? So he stabbed himself as must have been when I...
He tried to kill himself, you know. He was just done. This is my favorite guy. This guy right here, Ronnie, the limo driver. That's his limo driver.
And see, I was listening before. I mean, they had cameras, but I didn't really watch it or anything, you know. I mean, of course I saw some episodes or whatever you want to call them, but... yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it a bunch. I listened to it mostly because I was driving.
Baba Booey is still on there.
The what?
Okay, Baba Booey, you know, Fred.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Benji. Hold on, I was going to show you Artie. So, yeah, they're only on 3 days a week.
Good
Monday,
for them.
Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Good for
and
them.
most of the time, they're on fucking vacation.
Good for them.
I know. I
Big
get all
contract
depressed.
money, big
I get all
contract
depressed.
They
Every
did put-
Monday
now-
morning, I'm like...
They played a lot of reruns.
yeah, I get on here, I'm like... God, please let it be live, because I'm always wanting to know what he thinks about something. You know,
And
I'm always
figures
interested.
it out over the weekend, over the 4-day weekend.
Yes, so I'm like, especially Game of Thrones, because he was a big Game of Thrones guy, and I'm a huge Game of Thrones guy. Where is this at?
Yeah, he's one of my idols, man.
Yes.
He was fucking awesome.
I love it.
I guess I'm going to start listening to him again, find a way to listen to him.
I'll give you my login. Just download the app. I'll give you my login.
To what?
To Sirius.
To Sirius. Gotcha. Okay.
Literally, I'll give you my login info. My brother has it. Only thing is, every now and then it'll say, you're logged in somewhere else, and you just hit OK. Look at Artie.
Oh, no.
I know. Isn't that sad?
What's going on with his nose?
What? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Who knows?
How long has it been like that?
Pictures just started coming out about a year ago.
I mean, it looks like his nose has been like...
I don't know. It's weird, right? They're making him do like community service now and all kinds of shit. He got busted again. I mean, he just cannot stay sober, but he's just fucked up bad.
Dude.
I know.
That's a shame, man.
Isn't that a shame?
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, I'll have to. All you gotta do is download the Sirius app. It looks like this. Sirius XM.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll just give you my login info. My brother had to re-get it this past weekend.
Shit, you're awesome. Man.
Yeah. I gave it to a girl I met. See, I'm always like meeting people and talking to people. I met this girl on a trip back from St. Louis. I was flying back from St. Louis 5 years ago. Penny was a baby. Like, she was only a year old. And she was sitting next to me. Of course, I was drinking, and I had Penny on my lap. She's this black gal. I could tell she was lesbian, and I just finished the L word, and I was drunk. Thought I'd be cool and talk to her about the L word, you know, which is basically a show about lesbians, you know. And I kept fucking with her, and she's like, damn, you ain't gonna let me listen to my music, are you? She had on these headphones, and I was like, no, not really. And so we got to talking,
And she said she was on her way to Afghanistan. And that she goes over there, and for months at a time. And I said, really? I was like, well, shit, give me your information, man. I'll send you a package. And to this day, she's like, I just thought you were some crazy-ass fucking white girl. And I started sending her packages, books, Playboys. I'd send her alcohol. I'd Slumdog Millionaire and put it in, like, water bottles, pack it up with some ramen noodles. But she couldn't believe it. I started sending her packages. We're friends to this day. To this day, we're friends. She's back in the States. Man, isn't that awesome?
You're fucking badass.
I know.
Man.
To this day, we're friends. We talk all the time. In fact, she's dating a girl that's going through this, and she was wanting to know about a rehab. I couldn't believe it, but she turned me on to my electric. She's selling electricity out of Grapevine, and got me signed over and saved me $40 a month on my electricity.
Residential?
Yeah, I'm in an apartment, so it's Ambit Energy.
Yeah, shoot me your info. I'll share it.
Yeah. I mean, she's a great person. And the weird thing is that her parents are from where Dan's family's from. Like, they live an hour away in Missouri. That's why I met her, because she was in Missouri visiting her family. So one of our trips back to Missouri, I drove me and Penelope over and even went and spent the day with her family while she was over there. I mean, it was just cool, It's cool to meet people, you know what I mean? Like, I like doing stuff like that. And even though we don't talk every day, it's just nice to know that she's there and that I met her out of a whirlwind, and that maybe I gave her a little piece over there.
Yeah.
And I'm always interested in what life is like in other places,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I travel, man, I talk to people, man. I talk to the drivers. I mean, my friends, I got to the point where I just want to travel with either one person or nobody. Mm-hmm. When I go with 2 or more people, man, it's a shit show. Mm-hmm. And I don't get to do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I know that's selfish, but it's the same for everybody else. They don't get to do what they want to do because I'm dragging them one way. They're trying to drag this way. So
I agree.
But man, I want to talk to people. These fools are back here on their fucking phones, yakking, talking bullshit. Yeah. And like, dude, I can talk to you at fucking home, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yes, we're going to relax. We're going to talk about this. And we're going to talk about that. But like, when we're in the presence of other fucking people, or we have the opportunity to be, let's do that.
Yeah.
Why are we sitting here watching fucking MTV in a foreign fucking country in the middle of the afternoon?
Yeah.
I didn't pay this kind of money.
Yeah.
I didn't take this time off. Like, this is our time. This is me time. And we're sitting here watching a fucking game. We're watching a fucking game in another country. Right. Like, I thought we got out of the United States for a fucking reason.
Right.
But
now, were
here
you
we
military?
Are.
No. Were you ever married, kids?
No, neither.
Wow.
None. Unless I have any surprises coming.
Good for you.
After I heard Shelby's story, she's the episode 1 that we did.
Yeah.
Her story's amazing. But
really?
Yeah. So she didn't meet her dad till he was 37 or 36 or 37. He didn't even know she existed.
Wow.
Or he had some idea and they got separated because once he denied her, he didn't see her again until she found him.
Wow.
So he might have known in the back of his mind the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, as of right now, I don't know. But no, I don't have a family.
Kids are hard.
Yeah.
You sure have to worry a lot,
Yeah. And I think I feel the same way about that too. I think that's something that you have to want. You have to want kids. I guess, I don't know. I just haven't got to the point where I'm like, I have to be a father in this lifetime. Like at this point, I'm so fucked up. I'm still trying to figure me out to make sure I even end up with the right person for the next 50 years.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm just trying to make it maybe 5 years. Can I just have a relationship that might last for more than 5 years?
I mean, I need something to last more than 5 fucking minutes.
Not 5 minutes.
I mean,
please, God, it's hard. It is hard. Being in relationships are so hard.
Yeah, and I know it's me. Well, it's the other person too, because I'm fucked up, and I end up with fucked up people, or I end up with good people, and I fuck them up, or whatever.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I know.
That's life. It takes 2, but.
It's so true, though. I mean, And I think that's why, I date these young guys too, is because I know that it's not going to go anywhere. And so it's kind of like almost like, well, I don't have to worry about,
Do you meet guys online? Like
no.
Apps like Tinder and all these things?
No. I actually met this one at Staples.
When you worked there?
Yeah.
No shit. He hit you up and you said, I'm married. He said, I don't give a fuck.
No. He was pretty outstanding for his age at the time. He was 23. He wouldn't have anything to do with me while I was married.
But he hit you up?
Huh?
Did he hit you up or you hit him up?
He kept coming on to me, and so finally one night I got drunk and I sent him a message. I actually used this kid in my story because he is He's a very unique individual, but he did, and I guess he never saw my ring. So I got drunk one night, and I sent my friend Brendy a message. I said, I think I'm going to take this kid up on his offer, because he only been with one girl, and he wanted a teacher, because they all want teachers, you know.
I never heard that tactic.
So, yeah, they all want to learn some skills, okay?
Oh, jeez, I've never
from
heard this. That's
woman.
fucking hilarious.
So,
I probably missed out on a lot.
So I was like, I think I'm going to take this kid up on his offer. And she's like, for real? I said, yeah, I mean, my marriage was over, but I hadn't gone to rehab yet, so it wasn't really over. So that's a whole nother. But anyway, so I sent him a message, and he said, yeah. He said, I mean, I thought about it for a while, and I'd fuck your brains out, but you're married, and I can't touch it. I go, you motherfucker. You've been flirting with me for months. And he wouldn't. He was real, like, you know, he was cool. But he did see me drunk. I snuck out of my window and ended up down the street and called him, and I said, I need a ride home. Or something, had him come pick me up. Who the fuck knows? I'm sure it was a ploy to get him to come get me, because I probably wanted to mess with him, you know, of course, because I was drunk and lonely. But that being said, he's like, guy had the same friends since he was like 7, and he keeps the same circle of people around him, and he doesn't venture out. Like, he really doesn't. He doesn't know a lot, but he doesn't care to know anybody else. This is his life, and this is the way he likes it. So when he told me after I got out of rehab, we went and had lunch, and he said that he's only hated 3 people in his whole life. And he's 24 years old. This 24-year-old kid is looking at me. And I go, really? I go, okay. Like, and he goes, yeah. And he named the first 2 off like it was nothing. He remembered them from school and what they had done. And then he said drunk Christy was the 3rd. Now, you talk about an impact. I mean, I don't really know that kid. I mean, I made such a huge mark on his brain with whatever fucking shit I did that he hates me that much. And he's been one of my biggest supporters in recovery, actually. And I use that in my story. I mean, to impact a 24-year-old kid like that, you know. So you can only imagine maybe one interaction did for him. How many that I had did that. Oh, God. You know, that's impactful shit right there. Like, God,
yeah, right on.
Damn, man.
Right on.
Yeah. But once I got divorced, he didn't have a problem hitting me up at all. He's a fun dude. We get along. We have a nice relationship. You know, he's a good guy, but you know, young. You don't live life.
Yeah. Now you told me you're in a relationship now.
With him.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Good. And how long y'all been together?
Oh God, now almost 2 years.
Good for y'all.
Yeah.
Good for y'all.
It goes good, but he's still young. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and I have my own place. He has a roommate. What's going to come of that? I mean, I'll be 50 in 3 years.
Does he try to push any issues?
None. He absolutely does not want kids. He doesn't like kids. I didn't even introduce him to Penny for a year, because I'm not that way. Like, you're not anybody's just going to meet my little daughter.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was done that way my whole life. But he loves Penny, and he's just a nice guy. And I don't like young and dumb. I don't like the blonde surfer type. I like very smart men. I always have. I've always been kind of attracted to nerds, like really smart men, because I like to be educated. I really do, you know?
Sure.
But this just was a chance thing, and honestly, I would never go this young again. I'm not secure enough to be in a relationship like this, honestly. To be with somebody 20 years younger than me. I shouldn't even be with him. That's the truth. Because I'm not secure enough. You know, because it's always in the back of my mind, I'll be 50 in 3 years. He's not even be 30. You know what I mean? Like, at some point...
You mean that you guys just don't want the same things in the long run?
No, he does. Oh, he does, you know. He's like, I'll spend the rest of my life with you. You're everything I've ever wanted in a woman. But I'm the second woman he's ever been with. You know what I mean? Like, how do you know that? You don't know that at 26. But then he says, but Christy, I'm not you at 26. Because he knows my whole history, you know? And he's like, not everybody's like you.
Yeah, everybody's different.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, what this relationship has taught me is patience and trust. You know? Because typically, I don't know how you are, but I know how I was. I'd get with some dude and we'd be living together in a week. You know, shacked up, drugging, drinking, in a week. and it goes south a year later, heartbroken, get with somebody else, you know. So I'm not living with him, you know. Like I just, you know, and he goes out with those young friends of his, and they go to the bar or whatever. So I've had to learn trust, and that hasn't been that hard for me, honestly.
Is he a heavy drinker?
No, not at all.
So when he goes to the bar,
He trips me out. He said he went down to Dalton's Corner a couple of weeks ago, and the next day I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm nursing the worst hangover." And I go, "Really?" I go, how many drinks did you have? Well, I had 2 beers. That's what I said. You dumb motherfucker. I just wanted to make. I was like,
shit. I need 2 beers to fucking
2 beers?
wash down the drive to work.
I need 2 beers just to.
Well, not at work, but like that's how much I gotta get to the fucking part of my day.
He had 2 beers, and I go,
hangover, huh?
God damn, he was hurting all day.
Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, that's good.
That's normal, see?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so it's
different for him than it's been for you. So that's the point of your story, right?
Yes. So that's a whole nother thing, though. I'm not really talking about him that much. I'm pretty private with him because I get a lot of flack over it, you know.
Yeah.
Because he is so young, you know. People are like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" You know.
Well, I think you don't have to talk about him specifically, but we can say that as long as you and him are both doing what makes you happy.
Right. Do I recommend it for an insecure ex-alcoholic to date someone 20 years younger? Probably not. Let's just throw that out there. You know, because at my core, I'm a very insecure girl. I can, throw off confidence to the wind. You know, like I can make anybody think I'm the most confident person in the room, you know, but at the heart of it, it's just not true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it can be very mind. I have to not mind fuck myself over it. You know, sometimes.
Right.
So I don't recommend it, and I wouldn't do it again. I'll tell you that. I would never date anybody in their 20s again. Maybe not their 30s, but I don't want anybody my own age. That's a problem.
What is it? Is it a physical thing? Is it a attitude thing? Is it a mentality thing?
All of it. All of it. You know, because most men that hit me up, they want to settle down real quick. Here's the thing. I really don't want to get married again. I want a companion and a partner in life. That's it. I just want somebody that I can do things with, have fun with. I've never been one of those girls that really slept around a lot, so I don't really want to go and like have all these sexual liaisons with a bunch of different people. I just want somebody to spend time with and have a life with. Men my age, they want to settle down because I do look so well for my age, they don't. They haven't taken care of themselves. A lot of men my age haven't. And so they want to settle down real quick. And it's too much. It's too much, you know? I don't know. And then it is a mentality. They don't work out. A lot of them don't work out. And I don't really have to be with somebody that doesn't work out. That's not a huge thing for me. Like, oh, my boy, you know, he's kind of overweight. I mean, he wasn't when we got together. He had like a nice six-pack. He's letting himself go. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just kind of boredom. They all want to sit at home. That's fine. I can lay in bed all day and watch Netflix all day long. But we're not doing that every day of the week. You know what I mean? We're not doing that every time we have a day off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to go out. I want to ride by. Something, you know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you like. But for me, I have to have some kind of action, you know? Yeah. And it's not all sexual either. You know, like being with a 20-year-old is fun. You know? I mean, God. You know? But it's not all about that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we do normal stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's been quite a ride, that's for sure. But, again, I wouldn't go this young ever again. It's just I'm not emotionally secure enough for it. That's honesty.
I can't imagine being with somebody 20 years younger than me.
It's hard. But it's not as hard as what you would think either, though. He
Like, you
is
guys-
very smart. He likes a lot of the same music that I like. And we get
that's
on
good.
on a very intellectual level.
That's good. That's
So
good.
that's
good.
how. That's the only reason it works.
Right on.
Because I mean, my God, he plays. Yeah, please don't put this on there. I don't get into that.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to play it,
Yeah, yeah.
but I respect it.
Yeah.
Respect that he likes it and puts so much work into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And he says that about young girls too. He likes older women, obviously, but he says that about young girls too. That everything that comes out of their mouth, and he says that they have no drive sexually. They are just I guess the new term now is starfish. They just lay there like starfish. Yeah, you can use that, I guess. But
I've never heard of
but they're starfishes, and so to have chemistry, it's very difficult in life to meet people and have any kind of chemistry, any kind of, I would look at you at the bar and have a couple of beers and be like, I'm gonna fuck him tonight. Look how good he looks.
Oh, yeah.
Tall and bald motherfucker.
Yeah.
Blue eye,
Yeah.
But sitting
Yeah.
here with you right now, I don't have any of that. You know what I mean?
Right
Like,
on.
I can appreciate that you're a good looking man and move on.
Right on. Yeah, I got
Do
you.
you see
on
what
that.
I'm saying?
I got you on that.
Like,
yeah.
I don't feel the need to, like, pursue any kind of chemistry. Oh, wait, I wonder if there's any chemistry here. I wonder, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so what I mean is to find someone that you actually have some chemistry with and some passion and some interest. It is so hard. Fuck.
Yeah.
It really is, And that's probably why I'm lingering in this situation, is because we have a lot of fun,
You guys have a lot of shit to talk about.
Well, not a ton, but we
Really?
do. But he respects me, he gets me, and not a lot of people get me. And he doesn't put up with my shit. And he's the first human being that's ever looked me in the face, really, and said, no, you're not going to fucking say that, and you're not going to act like that. You're not going to pour your insecurities out on me and expect me to kiss your ass. I've never had anybody do that to me, so I got some respect for him for his age. So that's probably why we're still going. You know what I mean?
Right on.
So what can you do? Will it last forever? Probably not. Will I probably be here crying in a year from now, heartbroken? Maybe. Who knows? You don't ever know. You just don't know, I mean, my God, life is so funny. My best friends from Waxahachie, they've been married for 36 years. I've known them for 25, known all their kids since they were grown, or little kids growing up. We used to party at their house. I mean, their oldest daughter was killed in a head-on collision last week. I had to go to Waxahachie and go to the visitation and see them. That girl's got 4 kids, just got remarried. I mean, the husband, my God. And he's a biker, he's a bounty hunter, old school bounty hunter from Waxahachie, owns a bail
She
bond.
just got hit head on?
Mhm.
Right here on 1187?
Down in Waxahachie.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah. And so you just don't ever know. She's a school teacher, coming home. Coming home, had some kind of weird brain thing, aneurysm or something. Hopped over in the other lane.
She had the aneurysm?
And something went on. She had some kind of a blackout. They said they're not sure that she had
How
blackout.
can they even tell that?
Well, because she wasn't conscious when it hit. Because they can tell because her body wasn't stiff. I didn't know this, but when you get in a car accident, if you're conscious, you're fighting every...
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and so, but if you're not, you're rolling with it, a lot of times you can not succumb to the injuries.
Yeah.
Because you've just kind of gone with the flow.
Yeah.
So she didn't fight any of it. And they said that they think, because she had episodes before, none of her headlights weren't on, and she just, something happened inside that car that made her go over to the other lane.
Mm-hmm.
And she was hit head on,
That's a shame.
Oh my God, killed me. I mean, I've known that girl, so I looked through a bunch of my old pictures and found some pictures of her holding my 16-year-old when she was like an infant, and I sent them to the family, and I was like, oh, I hate it. And it's even harder when you see the dad, who's this big biker guy, and then you see all these bikers, video of all the bikers going to the funeral in her honor. It's just like, it's breathtaking. But that's how quick, how quick. So what are we supposed to do? Just lay around and do nothing? You know? I don't think so. Not on my watch. And I mean, maybe living life inside of a movie theater is not great either, but I'm not gonna stay inside of a house all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. What about you?
I think I'm still putting the pieces back together. I'm almost back together though.
It's hard, huh?
Well, these past couple of years have been bad. I mean, because on top of alcohol, there's been a lot of other stuff going on too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the business and the partnership and the friendship. It's just been a crazy couple of years, and I've just started figuring out figuring everything out. Mm-hmm. I've been figuring everything out. And
now, do you date at all or no?
So, man, this is awful, but it's so fucking bad.
It's so fucking bad.
Fucking bad. Okay, so I'm
so
like
bad.
I wouldn't say like a serial dater, but I'm really hard to get tied to in a relationship because I'm always looking for red flags early.
Oh, yeah.
I'm one of those guys where I'm like, red flag, fuck, red flag, fuck, red flag, fuck. Okay.
You're like Boomerang. Remember that? Eddie Murphy in Boomerang?
I remember the movie, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah. You're Eddie Murphy.
I remember him like pulling the sheets back and
there was Big Toe, the toe, yeah.
Yeah.
You're Boomerang. You're Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So just always found the flaws, you know. And then sort of when this whole awakening thing's been going on for like 2 years now, but in that awakening process I I did find out very early in this process that they were putting up with me too. Mm-hmm. And that never even crossed my mind before. You know, that never even entered my mind that they were also putting up with me and trying to figure me out and trying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was so selfish.
You had
like,
red flags.
Yeah, I was so focused on my happiness and them not meeting my expectations of what they were supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Never even crossed my mind that I was a piece of shit.
Right.
Never
like my mom when she said, I'm going to Al-Anon.
Yeah, I'm like, who?
Who? What?
Yeah. Yeah, I was that fucking guy.
Yeah, oh, I know.
So I wasn't like a serial dater, but I did a lot of online dating.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, cause, I also traveled for like 5 years, and that's what really got me started on online dating was traveling. I'm like, I gotta fucking meet people when I go to these places, and of course I'm more interested in meeting somebody at home because that's where I'm going to end up.
Right.
So I'm trying to meet people here, and I'm trying to meet people on the road, and it's a fucking mess, you know. And I fuck around, you know. I'm not shy at all, you know. So finally, like just put a stop to it, and like just to like fucking start rebuilding this, and like figure, like I said, they're putting up with me too. There's like, you know, I don't know. I'm just now starting to figure this thing out. So I haven't been dating since I stopped online dating. I guess that's why I was answering that question that way. Is I stopped dating when I stopped online dating. I don't know how to ask a girl out.
Yeah.
I don't know how to ask a girl out.
I never did the online dating. I mean, I've never had a problem though, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, and you probably haven't either. But it was probably easier to meet. Because, I mean, I'm sure girls now are probably flocking to you pretty good.
No. No.
I'm trying to think. How do you ask someone out?
I just recently learned from one of our customers how to ask somebody out on Facebook. Like, I've got a girl, she's probably 19, 20, 21. Well, she might be like 21, 22. She got 2 young kids.
Oh, God love her.
But she's a firecracker.
She wants you bad.
No, she's too young for me, way too young for me. And I don't think she's interested in me anyway. But she's. Totally,
she told you how to.
I asked her. I'm like, you know, I wasn't like me and her.
Right.
In front of my other employees, we were just talking about stuff because she's just way wide open, and she would be actually great for this. But we're just like wide open talking, and she's like. I was like, how do you ask somebody out on Facebook? Like, I don't get this. Oh, she was talking about how she meets her people, I guess. And I was like, how does this work? Because all I hear about is the horror stories of like women talking about dudes in their inbox and their DMs, and it's horrible and it's terrifying, and so they don't do it. So I'm like, so how does a guy get through all of that? What does he say to get you to respond or even notice? Because if you get 50, 80, 100 messages a day of garbage. I don't know how many it actually is, but it's got to be a bunch.
Well, it's not that many for me, but I don't know how many it would be for her, but I'm not 19. But
yeah.
I'll tell you what not to do right now. Please don't ever send a dick pic to anybody. I mean, I'm serious. I would fucking block a motherfucker. I can't stand it. Anyway.
I don't think I've ever sent one unsolicited.
Like, just to send a dick pic. I had a guy do that.
Hold on, you talking about to Facebook?
Yeah, Messenger.
Oh, no.
A good-looking guy, young guy, sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, do you want to see a picture?" I thought he was going to send like a new picture of him because he kind of looked like Viggo Mortensen. He was a good-looking dude. He sends me a picture of his dick. I go, "Dude, no. I don't want to see it." Later down the road, maybe if we have something going, but just to send a picture of your dick, I don't care who anybody is. Nobody wants to see your dick.
Never done that. I've only sent one to like an expecting
audience.
Yes.
So what did she tell you to do?
What do you mean? She said to send it.
She said, "No, not her. The girl that told you how to date on Facebook. What did she say for you?"
Oh.
See how we can skip around?
Sidetrack with
we'll
shit.
skip around like a mug.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even remember her advice. I don't remember. It was just something like, just to say something like, just don't be obnoxious, don't be an idiot, don't say, like, don't send a dick pic, stuff like that. Oh, I know what she said. She said the first thing you have to do is send them a friend request. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if they respond, they're at least, I would say allowing you in their circle, but like wanting to know what you're up to. Mm-hmm. And then she said if they do, then you like a couple of their profile pictures. Mm-hmm. And she said you have to do profile pictures. And she said don't go very far back because it looks creepy. Mm-hmm. She goes, but like one or two of their previous profile pictures. Mm-hmm. That way she knows you're interested in, because you're stalking but not stalking.
Right.
You're not digging too far.
Now we know that you've looked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then you back out. Then if she responds by doing the same thing or something along those lines, then she's interested and you send her a message and then she's expecting it. Mm-hmm, so I guess there's like a...
And I would always do like day dates, like
you used
lunch.
to or you do now?
No.
Obviously
if somebody asked me out, I would always say, like, if I didn't know you, I'd say, yeah, well, let's go down and have lunch.
Even when you were drinking?
Yeah. But you
would drink at lunch on the date, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah, but lunch dates, are going to end in an hour. There's no expectation that, oh shit, do I need to take her downtown now and find something to do? A lunch date has to end in about an hour. You're going to go in, you're going to have some suitable conversation. You're going to know pretty much in that hour.
Yeah.
If you want to pursue it or not. You know what I mean?
If you're calling in sick to work.
Yeah, but I never went on night time. If somebody asked me out, I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, let's do lunch. We can do lunch. I like seeing people in the light of day, too. Because then you're going to see all their flaws and be like, okay, well, this guy's got fucking flaws. Yeah. Okay, he's not trying to make it, or something. And I'm real big on that now, too, where I'm like, here's my flaws. This is what I have. This is me. You know what I mean?
Much easier.
Yeah. Like, because we wear masks for so many years, trying to be people that we weren't, you know what I mean?
Right on.
Like, so I'm very honest with guys now, even when, before him and I got serious. I mean, we weren't even serious for a year, so I was dating other people here and there. I'd get asked out, but I never really liked any, there was never a connection. And I knew, within 30 minutes of lunch, it's like what you said. You can watch somebody pick up a fork and you're like, what the fuck is he doing with that fork? How's he eating like that? This is, everybody does it, so you're right. So lunch dates always.
Yeah.
Always. Because it's going to end.
That's a good call there.
Yeah. Because it does work. And then if you like them, then you can say, hey, maybe we can get dinner sometime. And then you got a dinner date.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were talking about, my dating history recently.
Yes.
Yeah. We do talk about a lot of shit. Get sidetracked.
I mean, it goes round and round. I could do it all day long. I never get tired of it. I'm like, I love getting to know people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and getting to know, and talking. And I like real people now.
Especially since these interactions happen so fast now. Mm-hmm. Now it's just, hey, how you doing? See you later, bye. Mm-hmm. There's not really people throughout your day you're connecting with. Mm-hmm. You're seeing people, you're coming in contact with people, but you're not connecting with these people.
Yeah. I remember too, back, I remember people, you'd go out and you'd have more conversations and have fun, and nobody really does that anymore. You can't even go to a concert, like what you said, without people taking pictures and filming. Like when I go to concerts, I go to listen to music. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, it drives me crazy. when I went and saw Lionel Richie, man, I tell you,
Say what?
I was like, I never even picked up my phone. Shit, you know, that motherfucker put on a show. Like,
I did that when I first started going on vacation. When I first started traveling, I take my phone everywhere and take pictures. I started getting out of the habit of that and started like not taking pictures and trying to enjoy it more. I mean, I still take pictures.
I do
just
like to
not
take
like I used
pictures.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to come home with like, if I go to Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, I mean, I would take like 1,000 pictures while I was gone.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'd come home and to fuck with them, and
You gotta
now I'm
download
like,
them, go through them. I like to take a few.
I'm like, the best part wasn't seeing the shit. The best part was fucking being there. Mm-hmm. I don't want to remember what it looked like. I want to remember what it was like to be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I know.
I want to go back to that shit.
Well, we determined don't send any dick pics. Can you imagine?
Okay, so I've never done that.
Listen,
Never
can you
unsolicited
imagine if some cute girl, let me just say myself, if I waved at you, I sent that wave sign, and you waved back, and the next thing you know, you got a message and you pull up, it's my fucking vagina. I mean, wouldn't you be taken aback a little bit?
Oh, I wouldn't even that. Now, see, that kind of thing would turn me off.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm saying that's the next picture you see.
Yeah.
I've had that happen so many times. I'll get a wave, I'll wave back because that's what you do, and then I'll get a dick pic. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I goddamn waved at you.
What I don't understand is why would you say something on there that you wouldn't say to somebody in public? Because I thought that's what it meant. It's like social media. You're supposed to be social. So being social now is not even that we're not even talking to each other anymore. Like we're just saying shit to each other that we would never say to your face.
Yeah.
So what the fuck's happening right now?
Yeah, see, there's nothing I wouldn't say to you to your face. Even when I sent you that message and was like, hey, we should hang out sometime, and you're like, well, I smoke weed, and I got a real weird vibe, and I thought, he probably thinks I'm hitting on him. And so that's when I was like, okay, no, I don't mean like that. I have a boyfriend, like, and he's cool. Like, I have a lot of, friends that I hang out with here and there, but not a lot. Not any that are in, a lot that are in recovery. A lot of people don't have the same recovery that I do. They're big into AA or, they just do their own thing. But
yeah.
So I got a weird vibe, and that's why I sent back real quick, like, no.
Yeah, well, I was one. I wanted to know kind of what your recovery is about. That's why I told you I smoke weed. I'm like, hey, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Fuck with what you're doing, because everybody's different. Everybody's got a different safe zone or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, on top of that, like I said, I'm still fucking broke, and I was like, I don't know if she's single or what, and it's not even. It's not 100%. What are you up to? It's 50%. Like I have to own my 100%.
Right.
What am I capable of right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm still feeling that out because I haven't been meeting anybody new since I stopped online dating. So what's been happening is over the past whatever period of time this has been, some females from the past have slowly crept back in, and that's been my relationships for the past couple of years. You know, I mean, we're talking about a couple of years. I haven't met somebody new and dated, so it's
hard.
Fucking weird.
It is.
So now I'm like, how the fuck do I meet people now? Because now I'm starting to put the pieces back together and ready to start fucking doing shit again. And,
well, you just do it. You get involved in activities. Although, I've never met anybody at CrossFit that I even remotely liked. Everybody's like, God, there's not any hot dudes at CrossFit. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, of course, but there's not anybody I'd want to. Again, it's just weird meeting people. Of course, if I walked into CrossFit drunk, I don't want to fuck them all, light them up. Like we would. That's what would happen. But no, like your standards change for sure.
I can imagine myself walking into a yoga class completely fucking wasted. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can imagine how the fuck that would have went.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You see them all bent over. You're like, well, I'm about to take her. I'm gonna take her. It's just like I say, your standards.
Like, need it, got it, need it, got it.
Want it, taking it, everything.
I
know.
That's the one.
That's the one. So it is. Your standards definitely change. I don't think I'm as picky as I was either. I think I actually let people now
be themselves.
Be themselves. Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want somebody's mask to unveil in 2 years or 9 months.
Do you think that's because you also realize now that they're putting up with you too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My God, do you know how many facades I've done in all these years? I mean, the acts that I've put on, and I mean,
Do you feel like you were running for something? Like, what were you? What was the deal? Like, did you ever figure it out? Did you ever figure it out?
You're just looking for any kind of attention, and it's just that's just the way it was, you know. And you just wear these masks all the time, and you pretend to be something you're not, you know. And guess what? You're always found out every single time, you know.
See, I don't think mine was like that. Mine was just more like. Now, see, I didn't get blackout drunk every night. You know, our experience with alcohol is very different. And I figured that out, too, because I talk to people here, and people hit me up on Facebook about my sobriety, like, hey, man, that's fucking cool, or whatever. And everybody's story is a little bit different. You know, they're not all the same.
They're not.
Everybody walks a different deal, you know. So when I hear your story, I mean, I can relate to it a lot of ways, but there's also times where I'm like, man, I wasn't like that. That wasn't it for me, you know. So, but that's one way it wasn't it for me. Like, I didn't go in there, take as many shots as I could to be a fucking mess. Like, I just literally drank. If I wasn't working, I literally was drinking. Or figuring out where I was going to, on my way to go drink somewhere.
Yeah.
And that was it. And it wasn't like I was blackout drunk all the time, but I was blacking out regularly, causing a scene regularly. Yeah. And I say causing a scene, I'm not talking about, I mean, for instance, my business partner got us kicked out of 100 more places than I ever did. Like, he's obnoxious when he gets drunk.
I got so cut off everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Cut off every bar.
Yeah, but man, we fucking drank, and we fucking drank, and we fucking drank. I mean, I'm talking about everywhere, all the time, strip clubs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I used to love going to the strip clubs. It was so much fun. Oh, my God. That was so much fun.
And I don't miss them. I don't miss them. I never really enjoyed myself in a strip club.
I always had fun just because they were girls, and I'd be like, oh my God, can I touch your boobs? You know, I'm just a dumb...
I know I'm uptight.
I'm a dumb girl, though. I really am. I'm just a dumb girl, you know. I'm like the total cliche of everything that a dumb girl is, you know. But I just would have so much fun, you know. I mean...
Do you think you've... Well, I know you've gained knowledge from that, but, like, the experience that you've gained from that, like... What value does it bring to you now? Those experiences, like, what do you take from it? Because you know, like, you didn't plant a seed to be a legendary human being for that period of time. So now that it's over, like, what do you take away from it?
So much, so many different things, you know. Like, I mean, I just have a lot more respect for the people that were in my life. And then I think, even like those strippers, you know, I think, what if they were being sex trafficked, and I'm sitting here having a blast around these girls, touching their tits, and they're fucking being held against their will. I think of shit like that all the time. You know what I mean? All the time.
You wonder what role you played in what.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
In everybody's life.
Yeah.
You know, in everybody's life, I wonder what role, you know. And some people, you know, they'll send me a message and they're like, you know, you helped me so much, you changed my life. And I'm like, the fuck did I do?
I know. Yeah.
You know, and then you have people like Dan, who's just a great human and would never say a bad word about me to anybody. And Jacob's dad either. Brooke's dad, he'll tell you I'm a piece of shit if I piss him off. You know what I mean? But the other two, they wouldn't say a bad word about me. Not one bad word. And I'm like, why? Like, y'all should be the angriest dudes. You shouldn't even... I mean, I would want to spit on me if I walked by them. You know what I mean? I mean, I've had dudes, if I ever had to see them again, I would want to stab them in the neck. You know what I mean? Like, God damn. And I mean, I did just as much to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird, right? I gotta go. I really do. I'm tired.
Well, this has been fun.
Oh my God, anytime.
I know. Is there any way you could, like, in a summary, tell me about the abusive relationship you went through? Because a lot of people go through that too, and if you could share that with us real quick.
I did.
I hate to do that as far as a summary, but you know.
I'll tell you.
I know you gotta go.
I had many abusers. You know, mine started obviously as a child. You know, I mean, I was, you know, forced to do, you know, oral sex before the age of 5. I mean, I experienced a lot of abuse growing up, but my one real abusive, honestly, all my relationships up until probably Dan were all emotionally abusive because, you know, they key on, I would always get with men that were kind of like me, that can key in on all your insecurities and then use them against you. But one person in specific that I had kind of put him on a pedestal. He was tall and big guy and biker. He just, for whatever reason, that guy just loved me. He had a girlfriend, but he just... And I knew that guy for 2 years and partied with him. And he was there when I was pregnant. He came to the hospital when I had my first daughter. And finally, after I had her, we got together. And I remember, and now I'm looking back at it, I remember I had to leave work. I was working in Dallas. And it's before cell phones, this was like 2003. And I ran to Target to get a bathing suit because we were going to go to a swimming party. And when I got back, the girl that worked there said, "Man, he's called like 10 times for you. Like, you need to call him." And I was like, something's wrong,
The girl at Target?
No, the guy had called my work. I had ran to Target. And she said, "You need to call home. Like, he's called like 10 times for you." And I thought, oh my God. So I called him and he goes, "Where have you been? I've been calling you, and you need to bring that receipt back with you. I need to look at the time that's on it, And I remember that specifically. And when I hung up, I was like, man, this dude really cares about me. Like, he was really worried about me. Not at all. I had to prove where I'd been for the last hour. You know what I mean? And he wouldn't stop calling. And ultimately, we ended up moving in together. And the guy that I knew for that 2 years, when I got everything moved into that apartment, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember he closed the door, and when he turned around, the human being that I knew before that for 2 years, I never saw again. Never did. He died 3 years ago. He was killed in a motorcycle wreck, but never saw that guy again. And it was as fast and downhill as you can imagine. I mean, it wasn't fast, but it was... the control happens so quickly. And everybody is your enemy. Nobody, if any man tells you that your own mother is your enemy and that you shouldn't be around them, and you've been around them your whole life, and I know my mom more than anybody, and I know something's wrong, and you have to look for signs, these little bitty signs that you think, oh my God, this guy loves me so much. Nobody calls you 10 times in an hour unless they've been in a fucking auto accident and somebody's died. You know what I mean? But as girls, we're such dumb girls. We just want love so bad. I mean, and I still believe in love. I still love falling in love. But you have to recognize signs. And those were clear signs. Clear signs of, nobody could come to the house. No guy friends of his. If they did, I would have to look straight ahead. The reason I have blonde hair to this day is because he made me keep my hair brown and wear nothing but brown clothes. And do you know that when I was in rehab, I did more therapy on the color brown than I did on the sexual abuse I experienced as a child? That's the truth. That impact of that brown that he put me in from head to toe every day. He took a butcher knife to every one of my clothes. As soon as I got him moved in, he totaled my car with basically his feet and a jackhammer, and it sat out in the field. So I lost my job within 4 months. The color brown to this day. So when I first met you and came in here, I had decided. When I got my 2 year, I was about to get my 2 year chip. I was about to get my certification for work, my CPO, and something else happened. I can't remember, but it was a trifecta, and I'm all about that. And I thought, okay, I'm doing a social experiment. I cannot let this motherfucker rule me anymore from the earth, okay? So I dyed my hair brown and kept it brown for 2 months. I said, I'm doing it for 2 months. And I didn't have any anxiety or anything. But before that, every now and then, a stylist would get it to where it was I would have severe panic attacks. And I did it. So then when I first met you, I had brown hair because I was doing a whole social experiment myself. So, and I know when you ask me to be quick and summarize, I'm a long talker.
Oh, no, that was for you, not for me. I'm cool.
But you just have to look at the signs. And the first time that somebody lays their hand on you, I mean, it's over. It's got to be over. It just has to be. Because they will always do it again. Always, always, always. And what I tell people at the shelter is it never gets better, ever. Unless you do hear about those rare cases where men will hit their wife and then they'll feel so guilty and they'll go to a lot of counseling. And they don't ever do it again. It's a very rare case. But typically the men that I dealt with had a lot of anger issues, which turned me on in the beginning. You know, these rough, tough guys. Well, I can tell you now that one experience, that 3 years with that guy, is probably why I like nerds so much. You know, because they're just, I don't care to have the bad boy anymore. It wasn't fun, okay? It really wasn't. And it's a nightmare. And bad boys, they're bad boys for a reason, okay? Well, let's let them be bad boys. You know, it's the truth, you know. And not all, you know, and I love men still. I don't think that all men are monsters. Even with what happened to me as a child. Those are just isolated incidents by isolated individuals. Monsters is what I call them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But I know a lot of good men. I've married 2 of them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
right
I mean, and they overshadowed all that, but not to deviate, but again, you have to look at the signs, you know? If somebody is obsessive, compulsive, texting and calling and controlling and then hitting and, you know, plying you with alcohol so you'll, you know, and you're taking it because now that's all you know, and I was a drunk anyway. I mean, he knew everything about me. Everything in that 2 years. Everything. I mean, it was like just collecting data for 2 years. I mean, and he knew exactly what to do to me the minute he closed that door. You know what I mean? So, and it is hard, and people say, why don't you just leave? Well, it's very hard, and this is what I tell women too, is that, and I say this to people about drinking, relapse is part of my story. I've got 27 Desire chips, and that's from the time I started AA, 3 years ago. 27 Desire chips. I left him 17 times and went back. It's very odd to love someone that's one way 1 second, and then the next second they're not that way. So how does your brain compute? What does it do with all of that love that you have for this human being that is not this human being anymore? In a matter of seconds, an hour. You know what I mean? You just had 2 years of a loving relationship with someone that just changed in 5 minutes. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. I don't care who you are. People can say, well, I'd leave them in a second. It's just impossible. I feel like it's impossible. You cannot turn off love like that. It's crushing. It's bone crushing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It just, and then there's so many cycles, is it me? What did I do to upset him? I had to have done something, And then it'll stop for a little bit. So you're like, okay, well, this is, because then you get drugged back in. It's a cycle. All of it, And so...
Well, I don't know. I've never done that, but...
Well, no, I mean, about the cycle, like about drinking. It's all the same cycle, really. But that being said, is that you have to, at some point, break the cycle. And I just remember, after all those times I kept going back and forth, and it's because I had lost everybody. Everybody left. Only 2 people stayed in my corner that, I still talk to this day, that helped me in the very end, that never gave up. And was always there if I called, because people get tired of hearing it.
Oh, I mean, you said you left 17 times. I checked out way before that.
Yeah.
I checked out.
Twice. It's like, why? I mean, why? Why would somebody, 17? Nobody wants to hear about it anymore. They don't even feel sorry for it. They're like, you deserve it at that point. You know what I mean? But when you have nobody, you've lost your kid, you have nobody in this world but this human being that you've loved telling you how much they love you, and come back, and you're in a shelter, and you're alone in the shelter. It's just, it's too much sometimes for a human's brain. It really is. And I totally believe in that Stockholm syndrome too, where people get kidnapped and fall in love with their kidnappers. I totally believe it. How could you not?
No, mind control's it, man.
People, these are the people that are loving you, torturing you, feeding you, having sex with you, knowing every part of your body, your brain. It's impossible to shut that off like that, And I just remember that last time, I was gonna leave again, and I was going back to Paris, to the shelter, Paris, Texas. And he came in there, and oh my God, he was awful. And I mean, he would get so, like, right here in my face. I remember he used to scream, but my whole face would be covered in spit. And he was screaming. And to this day, I can black out, like, kids and stuff. I can, like, tune them out because of him. It's kind of a gift, I guess. But if there's a lot of screaming going on, I can, like, black it out, tune it out. But he was doing that, and I was wiping the spit off like this. And I remember thinking, this is not the life that God wants me to live. I know this is not. I know it. I know it. I'm too smart. And right then, for whatever reason, because I don't think I'm a smart girl, in all reality, you know, I've got a lot of common sense and I'm street smart. But as far as, like, you know, but I thought, I can get out of this situation. I've got to. And that was it. I left. I was in hiding from him for years. And then I talked to him one other time, and I told him I was lesbian. That after being with him, I just couldn't be with another man, and I was lesbian. And for whatever reason, that pacified him enough, and he never bothered me again.
He was probably bragging.
I bet, yeah. And I had cut, I remember, I'll have to show you a picture, I'll send it to you later, it's deep in my phone, but as soon as I finally got away from him and knew that I was done, I cut all my hair off and dyed it platinum blonde. Like, it was like a pixie cut, like short up to here. And I've kept it blonde ever since. And that's been 13 years ago, 14.
What do you mean by you went into hiding? What does that mean?
Well, I stayed in that shelter for a while.
And he couldn't come in there?
Him?
Yeah.
No. Those women's shelters, those battered women's shelters, men aren't able to go in there unless they are
I've never been to
volunteers.
Yeah, I've never been.
They don't, I mean, they're, you know, because a lot of those women, like the one that I go to every now and then has like it's way out in the country. It looks like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a gated, and they have it now, they have cameras and chain link fence and the reason they have all that is because one of the husbands found out and went busting through that gate looking for them. A lot of men go looking for them to kill them, you know.
Geez.
If I can't be with you, nobody can, you know.
Oh, jeez.
Johnny, my guy, was too afraid of prison. That's the only reason he didn't kill me. But he tortured me so in other ways, you know. His favorite thing to do to me was hold a pillow over my head till I passed out. I was never claustrophobic in my whole life, but he would hold it and I would choke and I couldn't breathe and my brain would just function and I'd just go to sleep. I guess that's what passing out, you know, blacking out.
My
So
God.
to this day, I'm very claustrophobic because of that. So it's just, but again, I'm here for a reason, you know. I go talk to these women, you know, and tell them, and it's so funny because, like, turtlenecks, I don't wear turtlenecks. Claustrophobic, you know, I don't like anything around my neck. He like to, you know, and you just think about something around your neck, you know. And it's so funny, the other women that they're like, oh my God, yeah, I don't wear anything around my neck. I don't wear necklaces, nothing. Because you think about something around your neck. Because he was like a choker, you know. He was a piece of shit, man. I'm telling you what, when I heard that motherfucker died, my whole world opened up. That's the truth. That is the truth. That's when a seed was planted that, okay, this marriage is not going to work. But how do I leave? But then I didn't know how to leave, so I started drinking more and more and more. And then it dominoed down to how it was supposed to happen. But when he died, oh, God. Oh, I just was so happy. I'm telling you, I'm gonna, you know, he deserved to be dead. He was a horrible human. Some people are not supposed to be here. I truly believe that.
That's why we got this prison system all fucked up, man. We got the wrong people locked up.
The wrong people. You know, you got this motherfucker down the street that pulls up and pushes a mother out of the way, takes her kid in a car, and has that kid in a crack motel. What is this, 2 weeks ago? Okay? It's all over the news. I even shared it because the little girl looked like Penelope. Okay? Thank God for social media. Okay? They find this little girl with him in a crack motel.
Who is it to her?
Just some black guy.
Just some random dude goes to a
Random
random
guy
house.
is going down this nice neighborhood too, because they got video, those door cams on
Yeah.
every house. The houses were huge.
Yeah.
And you see this one guy running out, and you can see her running down the street screaming, "My kid just got kidnapped. My daughter just got kidnapped.
So
Help me."
he's just driving down the street.
He's driving down the street.
Just picks a random house and knocks on the door.
No, she's walking. She's walking with her daughter down the street.
Gotcha, okay.
They're going for a walk. Okay? So then they release his record. This motherfucker has got all these aggravated assaults, all this shit.
So they're just walking. He snags them, throws her
They
in the car.
literally
boom,
are
boom,
walking.
out.
He grabs her, throws her in the car. The
And
mom
goes to a
dove
crack
in.
house or a hotel?
A hotel. They found her in a hotel.
How long had he had her?
8 hours. So, and anybody knows, I mean, anything can take 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They said, though, my brother-in-law actually is a police officer, and they said that she was unharmed, which typically means that she wasn't
Yeah,
sexually
right
assaulted,
on, right on.
that they think that she was taken to be sold.
Oh.
And she was 7, 8. But that scared me so bad because it was right down the road. It was literally like 10 minutes from here in Fort Worth next to TCU.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Broad daylight. So you got this guy who's got all this record. Just
And you mean there were no warning signs?
no.
There were no warning signs? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Dude should be walking around.
You should see the picture of him.
I mean, he shouldn't be walking around.
No. That motherfucker. I tell you what. And now that little girl, I can't even imagine. I'm telling you. Penelope. Oh, God. She is such a scared little... She's so unlike my other kids. You know, she's real timid and real trusting and real just... She'd go right into that car. Right into it. And I tell her all the time, please, just whatever you do, don't ever go in, you know. And, but it didn't matter for that kid because she was pulled right up off the street, you know. Let me see if it pulls it. You got to see this guy. Oh. And then I think about Penelope in a hotel room with this guy. And I think, how does anybody get over that? How your parent, how as a mom, do you ever want to leave the house again? You know?
Yeah, I have a guy that works for me. Yeah, he's from Mexico. He was telling me a story a couple weeks ago about the number of kids getting kidnapped in Mexico.
Oh my God, it's awful.
He said it's not for sex trafficking, though. Well, I'm sure some of it is, but he says...
They kill them for the drugs?
Organs.
Organs, too,
They're
I heard that.
harvesting for organs.
I heard that, and I heard that they cut them open and put drugs in them. So there's a little girl. Okay? So she kind of looks like Penelope in that picture, which really got to me. But you gotta see this motherfucker that had her. Look at him. If my little girl, my 8-year-old, was in a hotel room with that guy for 8 hours, I don't know how she would ever get over it, honestly. Like, I'm strong because I saw a lot, you know, before. Oh my God, I saw a whole other world before Penelope was even 4. You know what I mean? I experienced a whole different life.
Yeah.
But she has not experienced any badness at all. You know?
Yeah.
Worst thing that ever happened to her was she couldn't see Santa at Cabela's. They told her she couldn't see Santa. Even though there was a line, they said, yeah, we stopped doing that about 10 minutes ago. I could not believe it. I said, I'll never come back here again. I'd never gone there anyway. I said, are you kidding me? He's sitting right there. And she is sobbing, crying. I can't see Santa. God damn this motherfucker. Dude, you're either the biggest asshole on the planet or you got the worst job known to man. Because I could not have looked at that little kid crying like that with Santa sitting right there and said no. And he would not let her. That's the worst thing that ever happened to her. Can you imagine? She's crying.
What an asshole, though.
I know. It really, I didn't know. I had never been to Cabela's.
Must
and I
be
was like,
Union.
fuck Santa. I'd never been to Cabela's.
It's better off she knows anyway. Fuck them.
Fuck them. No, my God. I want her to be innocent as long as she can be. You know what I mean?
I know. You want that for your kids, but it's a harsh world out there. You got to get them ready for that shit, too.
I know. See, Brooke and Jacob, they already know, you know. But she's the one that's just about as pure as Snow White, I'm telling you. She really is. It scares me, honestly, horribly. I lose sleep sometimes over it, thinking about how she is. Like, I mean, just scary. But that's about that.
Well, this has been super fun.
Oh my God!
I want to say thank you.
So much fun.
You've been fucking awesome.
I probably look like I'm like 80 years old now.
Oh, stop.
These like bright lights in my face, like this is the worst lighting.
Stop it. Well, I want to say thanks. You're awesome. I really appreciate it.
I need to get up. Sorry.
Oh no, you can do whatever. I was just going to say.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're awesome.
Yeah, no
This has been
problem.
great.
Anytime.
It's been great.
I mean.
Dollar bill prescriptions in the bathroom stall. Red-headed women and alcohol. Said ain't so, said ain't last call. A whiskey on the rocks and Adderall. A whiskey on the rocks and Adderall. We're no different than neon lights. We turn us on and stay up all night. We do what we can. We put up a fight. We burn too long, flickering light. It's nights like these that the drugs don't work. It's getting away instead of picking me up. I wish my addictions didn't mean so much, but we all can't be born with that kind of luck. You can try, but you won't fix what's wrong with me. Every night I'm my own worst enemy. I find a way to quit when they bury me. 'Cause I can't turn down the drinks when they're free. They can't turn down the drinks when they're free. We're no different than neon lights. We turn us on and stay up all night. We do what we can. We put up a fight. We burn too long, flickering down. Every girl in that bar looked like 1965, with her sailor tattoos and her drawn out eyes. Every now and then she still crosses my mind, and by every now and then I mean most of